Keep it PG there, Sarge.
There we go.
PG.
Live streaming.
Pretty gory.
Gee.
Pretty gross.
As startificated.
Startification.
We are in the
world.
Oh, there you go.
We are the children.
Who's going to be the Stevie Wonder part? I'll be the Stevie Wonder.
We are the ones who make a brighter day.
Like the brighter day to keep on giving.
Hello, interwebs. Welcome to the close. Sunday night, 10:30 Eastern. What's going on, everybody?
True, we make a better day.
Who we got out there?
For you and me.
Seven Wonders is blowing up the chat.
Ooh.
Hell, Seven Wonders must be getting paid by the word out there. Holy smokes.
Kingpin left.
Out there.
What the hell?
Moose out there. Pickles out there. 8, Pfeiffer. Bunch of Seven Wonders.
I was third.
79. Kingpin.
We need some.
No, you were a turd.
I just saw that.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we'll give it a second here. I think Rich is probably done, but I think Honda's probably still going live. They were going strong when I was setting up.
I don't know. Was he dancing for nickel shots again?
I don't know. It could have been. I mean, I don't get in his business like that. You know what I mean?
Well, he's probably having a heartfelt apology with the great Jedi for calling him when he was asleep.
Oh, yeah. I think he'll be okay with that. It sounds like he made up already. Mr. Guns, what's going down?
Gibbers for Karen.
Yeah, there you go.
Kimber.
Who said? Somebody said today they went on to a website and that was like the featured gun on a website or something during a sale. Who was Gizzard? Was that on your chat today? Somebody said that?
Not that I remember.
Kimber?
Yeah, somebody said they went on to somebody's website and there was a sale going on and that was one of the featured guns was the Amethyst Kimber. I was like, oh shit.
How could Gizzard remember? He's on for like 8 hours today.
Well, that's what he does, man.
I think it was only
all day.
He pulls out
all day long, all day,
all night. Oh,
hey,
well, and all day. I mean,
how you doing?
You don't
Rob,
put Gizzard in the cage.
You got a link out there, Gun Loving Grandpa. If Buck, if you want to jump on, man, I don't have your email, but if one of the other guys does, please send Buck a link, and or if you want to put your email in the chat there, buddy, I'll get you a link if you're interested. Yeah, send Buck a link.
Amber at Gmail.
Amber, yeah. Amber at wrinklyballs.org.
Actually, net they couldn't afford the .org.
You already
anymore.
went through that on Black Catch, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh boy.
No, that was freecolonoscopies.net.
Been there, done that.
Jesus.
Got the screenshot. Defense Dad, what's happening?
Yeah, that made the rounds.
Yeah.
Oh, Snob's here. Everyone's got to start over. Snob's here.
That shit was.
Get in here, Snob. Come on.
Yeah.
No stones.
Yeah, what's the matter?
No stones.
No stone.
Rich White's out there. He's got to get up early. What a bastard.
Rich, white baby.
Hey, Rich, who won? What was the bracket winner of the guns tonight?
Oh, yeah. What did they do?
It was a crappy 1894 the Snob likes to have.
Oh, that's right. G23 was in there. So was Rob. G23 sent me a link, but I was walking the dog.
Walking the dog.
Yep.
Walking the dog.
It's the worst. That's like the suburban version of Judas Priest. Walking the dog. Damn.
Wearing Dockers and a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
It's a fish shirt.
Breaking them.
Oh, wait. I guess it is a Hawaiian shirt.
The tactical minivan outside.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Nowhere.
We've been joined by the Glock hater.
Yeah, we got a
Busted
New
in.
Yorker. We got all sorts of people.
Well, I
in
mean,
there.
only people with fully developed full frontal cortex know enough to hate Glocks.
Oh snap! Winchester 1894. What was the bracket? So the Model 94 won, but what was the bracket?
What's the best gun between Model 93 and Model 95? That's what it was.
There you go. Yeah.
I was thinking it was the best repeating rifle of the last 2 centuries.
Mm.
I'm not sure what the name was, but it's it was definitely all older guns.
Oh, Snob.
Predecessors of the Glock.
Come on, Snob. Even Orange Boy beat you in here. No one cares about your 16-minute video. No one's going to watch it anyway. Save the bandwidth.
It's going to take them 2 days to upload it.
Old West. Oh, okay, Old West guns.
You
Rich
gotta
is saying.
buy some real internet, man.
Snobby
Go steal
fancy.
Yankees.
16 minutes. That's probably the
Walter
Old West
Davis,
guns.
what's going on, buddy? All right. So, Moo, what's going on, man?
Okay.
Just on quarantine lockdown, working from home. That's about it. Cooked up some ribs the other night. Did some stuffed cabbage rolls last night.
Uh-oh.
That's about it.
Uh-oh.
Way to go, Moo. You bored him to death. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the closer. So,
I
ladies and
scared him
gentlemen,
with
notices
the
of all
cabbage.
ages. Thank you for watching Midnight Range TM's The Closer. We'll be back sometime. Hopefully, maybe. Nope,
Oh,
there he is. Oh shit!
After
Never
quarantine,
mind. Everyone, get your ass
quarantine
back
is
in
over.
here. You ain't that lucky.
All right.
Now, that'll be interesting.
Well, I dipped out there for a second. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Who's got the star?
I mentioned
Sarge
cabbage,
has
and you
the star.
left.
Sarge went from a deputy to the full-on sheriff.
Oh shit. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Now you're gonna
Moo,
make
were you quarantined because of your city ordinance, or did you come in contact
Does
with
that mean I have control of this?
Yep.
I guess.
you
I don't
know
know
that
what that means.
How can you
Talking
tell?
to me, Rob?
There's a little
Oh, there's a
there's
little
star
star
in the
screen there.
bottom.
I am drunk
But I
with
don't know
power
what-
now.
I'm
Moo's
not
just drunk
sure
on
what that
alcohol.
means.
I'm drunk with power.
Okay. I'm not sure
Well,
what that
that's
means. You
that's-
can do
that's
and can't do.
profiling.
That. I don't know.
He can kick people the hell out of here.
Uh-oh.
Profiling is wrong.
That's
They
profiling.
call me
Everybody driving.
silent.
Not really.
Everybody driving on that
depends on
sidewalk
the area.
was.
They were stopping everybody who was stopping along that sidewalk, and that is profiling, and profiling is wrong.
I was thrown out of a bar in New York City.
And I mean, I wasn't asked to like, oh, hey, could you please leave? And we walked to the door together, and I said, bye, everybody. No, I was thrown out of a bar like a sack of wheat.
Sarge is going to boot Moo. He might. Shit's going to get real here.
Hey everybody,
My
how's it going?
finger just slips.
Buck.
Hey.
He's giving me the finger.
Just
He's giving
slips.
you the boot
Well, you
finger.
probably deserved it.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right.
That wasn't the one with all the baby jokes.
No, but you were the one who was sick enough to write them down for later use.
I did.
True story. Pre-chat
I mean,
got
speaking of-
real, and it got real
speaking of-
quick.
I mean, speaking of no stones like Snob, I mean, you're the one who nixed the idea to mute yourself, tell your wife the jokes, and have us watch as she pile drive your front teeth into your frontal lobe there.
That's a lot.
She
That's
could.
a lot of front.
She's got like a green belt in Taekwondo. She could kick my ass.
Or at the very least, she could use that as a garrote. Or garrote, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Maya attacked
Again.
him. He probably deserved it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we've got about 1 million people on the panel now. So we're just gonna run. Let's see. We got Rob's on the panel. What's going on, Rob?
Not much. Thanks for letting me pop in. Hello, everybody.
Always. Snarge, you're the man in charge now.
I'm used to
Guys,
it.
drunk with power. Yeah.
What's going on?
Mr. Ape, what's going down? Oh, same old shit.
Not a whole lot. First day off in 2 weeks. First day off since they put us on mandatory 12-hour days.
Only 12?
All right, making that. You're not salary, are you?
Fuck no. If I was salaried, I would have told them to go pound sand. Nope,
Oh,
I'm a
there you
wage
go.
earner.
Oh,
There you go. There you go, children who are probably way too young to be watching this. But, that's really your parents' fault for letting you watch this, so it's not our fault if we warp you. Secret to success. Step 1, find a job that's hourly pay. Step 2, make sure it does overtime. Step 3, when they say do you want to work the weekend and overtime? Say yes.
If it was salary, you'd probably still be at work.
No, not too many machinists that I know of are salaried. Ones that are usually get to sit up in a nice air-conditioned office, not on their feet for 12 hours.
Most of the people I've come across that are salary hate it. They absolutely hate it.
Whoa, whose belly's grumbling?
Giz.
Not
Those
me.
Mexicans trying to jump the border.
That Mexican rice is coming back at you.
You
Trying
be
to get
jealous,
over-
man.
One's trying to jump the border, and the other's trying to squeeze through the Rio Grande.
It's good stuff, Maynard.
We used to say that all the time.
Of our days and our nights.
G2, what's going on? G23? It says G2, but it's really G23.
G2.
Taurus G2.
Yeah,
Oh.
getting ready to head for work in the morning. 3 a.m. wake up.
3 a.m.
Did
Well, you should
you
log on with Black Cat around 3 a.m. We'll still be here.
Did you see that Instagram post that Johnny did with the G23 owners or whatever?
Yes.
Or the
G2C.
Taurus. Yeah,
Oh,
G2C.
no.
It was a trash can opened up with this gnarly looking possum in it, like snarling, and it was like G2C owners fighting for what was it, Sarge? What I forget what the post was.
Give me 2 seconds and I'll share
It was look for it. It was really funny.
This is probably good.
Yeah, he does some good stuff, man.
He's very clever.
Yeah. Gizzard, what's going on? How was the show today?
Show was just fine. We had a good time. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, by the way. And
Absolutely.
I had to solo a little bit of it because everybody was out doing family stuff today, which I kind of presumed would happen. But we made it the full 4 hours and had a good time. So thanks to everybody who participated.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Pickle, what's happening? What's going on out there in Sylvania?
I mean, California. That's for not a whole lot. That's for weather here has been pretty good. I hear that some of you guys in the Northeast have been getting snowed on, so that sucks for you guys. But just had a good weekend. Spent it with my mom since today was Mother's Day, and
Nice.
other than that, yeah, not a whole lot.
That was Mother's Day? I found that picture.
Oh, that's it. You guys, this is pretty funny.
I can only assume it's on there.
Yeah, Taurus owners defending their G2Cs. Don't touch my garbage. Yeah, I like
Well,
that.
you
And I
better
thought that
like
was
it
really
while
good.
we're here. Oh, look
Yeah.
at this little comment
Right.
at the bottom.
Gizzard Gary is
Look,
hissing.
Oh, I'm gonna post that.
I do not
Yeah,
own a
marsupial.
G2C. Thank you very much. So
I thought you did.
no,
No, he has that PT22 or whatever it
I
is.
got a
TC?
PT111 G2, and I have the G2S, but I've never bought the G2C. No.
Yeah.
What's the difference
Well,
between a G2 and a G2C? Is
The
that like
C.
Mountain Dew Zero?
G2S is the single stack slim model. The G2C is the regular
The
compact.
name.
Well, I'm asking the difference between the G2 and the G2C, not the S.
I'm telling you, it's the C.
There's no G2. Yeah, there's either G2S or G2C, and then there's a G3, which is the newest one out.
There's no
I own the
G2.
predecessor to the G2C, which is a PT111 G2.
So there's a
Ah.
G2. You just said there wasn't. Now there is.
It was called a PT111 Millennium G2.
Actually,
There's actually 40 words in the name. That's how they got the price up there a little bit.
And
They
that's
kept
why
adding
people
words till
wrote
it
it
got
in
expensive.
G2 because nobody wanted to say all that horse shit.
Right. Yeah. The wife's out there. She says, just popping in to say hello and happy Mother's Day to Mystic Guns and Gunpowder Beauty and Snoop Dogg and anybody else out there that got bibis.
to all you mothers.
All you mothers.
Or do you mothers?
Well,
Jacob,
Yeah, we have
Jacob's
Mother's Day
done
to
with his
Mia.
classes. Jacob's got his classes, done with his classes. He said he's now a college graduate with a degree in waffle science, I think it is. It's
Waffleology?
Yeah.
Just a mere
Not
bachelor's
sure.
degree. You've got to have a master's to really make it in that field.
Yeah, for sure. I learned the other day on a chat that the end is near. Apparently, I missed the memo that a bunch of Waffle Houses closed. So that's pretty much the end of it. This apocalypse is real. It's going to happen. It's time to put your Hawaiian shirts on. Shit got real.
People are always going to need to eat.
Boog time.
Yep.
Boog time.
Noobs.
Can make waffles on a fire.
That's tough. That's tough. Orange guy, what's up?
Yo,
Orange man, good.
that's a dirty lie.
He's just
Orange
here.
Man makes speed holes.
He's just here to talk
Dirty,
about
dirty.
his
Man,
cult.
bad.
All right then.
What? Nothing's going on. Just, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for non-SJW to look at my video that's substantially like a dozen others that are okay to be monetized, and that one isn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they
Gary
only
was
hand
dressed for
your
the
stuff
boob
to
last night. He
SJW.
definitely was.
Yeah, Gary was ready for the big luau yesterday.
That's right.
Was he all stocked up on pineapples to keep himself nice and supple?
The pineapple.
He can neither confirm nor
I had
deny.
Hawaiian shit.
Hey! You cannot have a proper luau without at least one pineapple.
That's true.
Just make sure you don't confuse the cooking type with the metal type, because if you throw the metal type in the fire to cook, it just pulls the pork everywhere. It's no good to eat no more.
Could be bad.
Pulled pork.
Fuck, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Just come on in, try it out, see how I like it.
There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
the water's
You
fine.
won't like this.
The water's usually a little dirty, but the water is nice and warm.
That's how I like it. Nice and dirty.
Good to have you.
Ooh.
Good to have you. Jacob says, when do you think that the mass selling of used guns from those who try to return their firearms will start? I don't know. And, we talked about this a little bit last week, too. Depending on what happens with Canada, if some people can figure out that it's going to be monetarily, successful for them, it would be really interesting to start trying to get some stuff from Canada. And, the problems with that are the import laws and the taxes and fees and all that kind of shit. But if like Classic Firearms or somebody can figure out how to get up there and make money doing it, it'd be awesome to get some of those guns down here, man. Because they had some cool stuff in Canada. They had some stuff that wasn't regulated up until recently. So I'd be pretty bitching to get some of that stuff down here. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, how long do you think it's going to be till? I mean, things are still up in the air now. With places aren't even open yet, so it's going to be a little while. Tuesday, yeah, it's going to be a little while yet, but it'll happen. And a lot of people have said too that a lot of these people are just going to stick them in drawers and forget about them. But there's also
in that case between 30 and 50 years.
There's also a lot of couples where one of them's, this is begrudgingly made them a gun owner, where they're like, all right, we can get one, but as soon as this is all over, they're going to be like, get it out. We don't want it. I don't want it anymore. So I think it's going to happen. I think the market's going to hit a lot of used guns, which would be pretty cool
for your SIGs right now. $200 standing up. Let's go.
I don't think the flow would be
a lot of them
as big as it could be, or as big as you might think, for the fact that I think guns in some cases are hard to sell for people that don't know much, and a lot of people don't like losing big money off the top, as I'm sure all if you just walk into your average gun store and ask what you can get for it, it's a lot less than you pay for that.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah,
maybe.
Trying to sell it outright, you're going to make less than if you're going to trade it,
and then
you're going to make less trading it in.
Nervous, is it legal? They don't want to take a chance because they're new to all this. So I think a lot of people might end up just having one sitting around anyway. So
yeah,
I think they're going to sell off their extra ones when they bought too many. I think they'll keep some. But some people that just bought anything they could find, they'll sell some of those off, as a guess.
Yeah.
And even if
it's
that's a reasonable guess.
I say they're all going to go in a closet somewhere.
Closet or a sock drawer or something like that.
Yeah,
and the ones that do try and sell it off, it could get to a point where, gun shops are that is like, no, I've already got like a stack of used stuff that no one's touching. So
I think even crazier than that is people that might have bought a bunch of ammo, and 6 months from now they realize that they got 2 cases of ammo that they need to unload, and prices are going to come down and nobody's going to want to buy it from them either. Somebody's going to have a case of 9mm that they paid $400 for or something crazy, and they're not going to want to take a loss on it, and they're not going to be able to get rid of it either. They're going to be trying to hawk it on Amazon, or not Amazon, Arms List, and wonder why nobody's buying it because the price of 9mm went back down pretty quick.
It's just like the
It
people
won't
that
take long for ammo to come back down.
It's just going to be like the people that bought ARs when they were high during the last scare. They're just stuck with them because they don't want to sell them. Like you said, they don't want to take that loss, but then again, they're not going to do anything with it. They just keep them.
Yeah. Walter Davis, that's actually something I've been keeping my eye on too. He said, I want a cricket for my kids. Hope one comes up. I've been looking for the last couple weeks to keep an eye on for them too. And probably more towards the fall, you'll find them. But I'm looking for the same thing and maybe pick up a cricket for $75 or something like that. The AR thing for sure, man. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to find any kind of AR or AR type, AK-47, or even like when you're looking at the M1As and anything like that, to find anything like that on Arms List at a good price. Everybody tries to suck, retail out of it. And I can't see how anybody sells anything. It's crazy. I mean, I know they're putting them high, and then you talk them down a little bit, and you can get a decent deal on it, but there's almost no AR that I've seen on Arms List that I can't go online and buy brand new for damn near the same price, or the same price and then just pay shipping or something and get something brand new. It's really weird. I don't know what people are thinking. Yeah. Bolt action, stuff like that. Shotguns you can get decent prices on. But people think that they have an AR, and it's like they feel like they have something that you can't get anywhere, and it's just not true. It's crazy.
Yeah, with all these used guns that that may hit the market, I'd love to get my hands on a wheel gun, but I have a feeling most of the people that bought, Frenzy bought that didn't know what they were getting are probably more likely to lean towards the semi-autos because they're more, I would imagine they probably were pushed more towards that by the gun shops.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot of new gun owners. You know what I mean? I know. I don't know what's sort of the trend right now. I mean, I know when I was younger, it was still like super common for them to push new gun owners, or especially females, to a 38. Just get yourself a 38. Just get yourself a 38. But autoloaders are so common now and really good for the money. I mean, there's some really good autoloaders that are budget or whatever. We're talking about Tauruses and stuff like that earlier. That I think a lot of times years ago they'd push it towards like a 38 because it was a inexpensive and reliable and whatever. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think semi-autos are so popular now.
When I first got into, shopping for a handgun, the thought of a revolver never crossed my mind, to be honest. But I don't know, maybe, a culture thing or whatever, but to me it just seemed, it's like going to pick up a Model T or something, you know what I mean, in a sense where if I was in an area with Alaska or something, I may see it different. I don't know. I mean, obviously they are effective. They do work. There's nothing wrong with them. Statistically, you don't need that many shots, but I would just prefer to have more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did this. I was the same thing when I wanted to buy something that was not really an option to, like, it wasn't an option to me to buy a revolver. I was going to buy a semi-auto. And that's just what I went with. I don't know why. I just, I guess it's because when I was young, my grandpa had a small semi-auto 22 that I used to shoot a lot. So it was just sort of natural for me to go to a semi-auto pistol rather than a revolver. I had shot his revolver, but I only remember shooting it a very few times. And he had it stolen. It was stolen from him. So, and that's when he bought the semi-auto, and I would shoot the hell out of that thing, and then 22 rifle. So I think I don't know. That's what I had sort of moved on to. Defense Dad says shops around here seem to be pushing Stogers, the STR9, because they're cheap and supposed to be reliable. I don't know much about the Stogers.
I think
take a look
The only Stoger pistol I'm kind of familiar with is their copy of the PX4.
Now, would it be crazy to think that a town with 2-3 gun shops, the shops wouldn't go in together and buy a large amount of something, and everybody's pushing them? I mean, is that something that would be done, or I'm just curious, because the way he put it.
Yeah, no, depends upon the interpersonal relationships of the people that own it.
Okay.
Stoger's a nice looking gun. Guess I could screen share it here.
It's basically like that here with transfer fees, where just like 90%, more than that, almost 98%. I only know of one guy that'll do it less than the going right here, which is
transfer fees are
state price.
Transfer fees tend to be all over the place around me. can find some really good deals at smaller places, and then there's some, like Bass Pro Shop. I don't know how much Bass Pro Shop charges, but I'm sure it's a lot. I know Gander Mountain used to charge a shitload to do it. Stoker's a nice looking pistol. I really didn't know much about it. That was a good picture of it.
I don't know anything about it. It looks
kind of like
M&P-ish, Glock-ish.
Bastardization of an M&P and a Glock, maybe a little bit of those. What were those ones that were made in Saudi Arabia, the Caracaos or whatever?
I don't know. I think the Canics are better.
I thought that was a Canic. Oh wait, those are in Turkey.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
I think. Stoker's just like an importer. I think some of their shotguns are made in Turkey too.
Yeah, I think so too. The slide serrations are nice. They're kind of cool on it though. A little different.
Yeah, kind of like little half moon cuts.
Yeah.
Ben Stad's saying they're 3-year. Seven Wonder says $25 is typical in my area. They're not really having had to do anything as far as transfer fees.
20 here.
Yeah, we'll see. You see anything from like 20 to 30 here. Some places will charge a little bit more, but not much. Yeah, not too much more, because there are places you can find that'll do it for inexpensive. Some small places, but.
Release statement: Ruger's order backlog went from 180,000
one of my gun shops here charges $10 for a transfer.
That's what they're supposed to charge.
I forget how much
state in my area, but they always add on there.
I forget how much it is here. I'd have to look. I just did that transfer that lower. And I forget how much it actually costs to do it. I don't remember how much it was. It was a couple of bucks.
$129.95. The midnight special.
Yeah.
For a transfer?
Shine your light on me.
Is that how much a transfer is?
Just for him.
No, just for midnight.
Just for me. Yeah.
Does that come with a free used high point?
Yeah, I did the last
comes
one
with an empty
for
lube bottle.
$15. Mine was 15, but he's a friend of mine. I think he normally does 20. Sportsman's Guide. Are they still talking about crickets out there?
Talking about the crickets, or are you talking about that Canic Glock M&P hybrid thing that we were just looking at? One place here is $5. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I personally don't see much value in the crickets. Knowing a couple people that have them, I mean, I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but it's kind of like a bike with training wheels. 2 weeks later, they're looking for another gun anyway.
Doesn't Ruger make their American 22s in a youth model, where it's got like a stock that'll take like 2 or 3 inches off the length?
Yeah, Savage does that too, I think, where they have one that you can take away there's plates behind the buttstock. You know what I mean? You take the buttstock off, and there's a couple of different plates there that you can take out, like spacers. Yeah, there's a couple of people that do that. That's probably a better way to go, unless your kid's really small statured. You know what I mean? If you have a really small little critter.
Well, is Nerf shooter pretty shrimpy?
No, he's a big kid.
Okay, then just get him like a Ruger American.
Mm-hmm.
When the father's Shrek, I can't imagine the kid's going to be tiny.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know. It could. The gigantism could have skipped a generation.
It does happen. It does happen.
You got the tactical
this guy.
grand connoisseur.
What, Ghost, did you buy anything today?
Not yet, man. Not yet. I was
okay. Oh, okay.
But it might be happening soon. Just saying. Thanks, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know if that thanks was I don't know if that thanks was sarcastic or not, but
no, I think I don't know if my wife will thank you, but I thank you.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't buy that on Mother's Day, you know.
Yeah, probably not.
Thank him after the divorce.
And it's funny because that's how I found that. I was looking through, I was paging through some kids guns, and I looked. I
so what are you saying?
searched
I'm not
Savage.
that small.
Yeah, right. Actually, yeah, that's a good joke. That's actually that's where I should have went with that. I didn't. I didn't think that. I didn't think fast enough for that joke. I'm slow.
Yeah, come on, Midnight. He's
I was
not
looking up
small.
the Savage, like the Savage version of the cricket they have, you know. So I punched in Savage, and the Savage Stealth came up, and the price was like, I was like, holy shit! Like it was like $783. I was like, wow, that's a really good price for a Savage Stealth. Like that's a damn good price. I texted it to Ghost. I was like, hey, just in case I know you're looking at these and you're not looking at them, but I know you really think these are nice. You talk about buying one every once in a while. This is a really good price. And if you could get it on sale or with a rebate or like Black Friday or something, that'd be even better. And I shot him the text and I was like, let me see if there's any rebates. And there's $100 rebate going on now. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, oh man, you can't beat that shit. Yes, it'd be $689 or something like that for a Savage Stealth and 6.5. You can't beat that.
No, because I was looking at one about 6 months ago, and the best I could find at the time was about $800, and that's not a bad price. Still, I mean, it's still a pretty decent.
Right,
price.
No, that's.
I almost pulled a trigger on it then. I was like, no pun intended, but I was like, oh, you sent that text to me, and I was at work. I'm going, oh, my wife will kill me.
Yeah, when I bought my Savage, my Savage rifle, my 308, I took it to Cabela's to have the scope mounted, and they lap the rings and put the bubble level on and stuff like that. They do it for free, so I took advantage of that. And while I was up there, a guy came in and bought one of the Savage Stealths, and it had a scope. It had a vortex. It's funny because honestly, it was like really, really similar to my rifle, except it was a stealth. It had almost the same scope on it. It had the bipod on it. It had, I forget what else it had on it, but it was the Savage Stealth. And that dude paid like $1,800 for that. I was like, oh, wow, man, I could not. I was like, wow. And it was, I don't know why it was. I mean, it was Cabela's, so I mean, it was a little higher than you would think, but it was like $17.99 or something. That dude came in, bought it, and took it. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, dude, that's a $300. I was like, where the fuck is all the money in that thing? Like, why is that thing $1,800? I couldn't figure it out, but yeah, he paid a shitload of money for that.
Do they offer a basic model that you could upgrade to the Stealth? Would it be cheaper to go that route?
Take a look at what they list as the factory features here.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Because I'm assuming. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at like that rifle, the Stealth versus my rifle, it's the same barrel. It's the same. It's a Savage 10. It's a Savage 110 action. The biggest difference is they blueprint the action on the Stealth. So, it's still got the Accu trigger. It's still got, mine has a traditional synthetic stock. It's still got the Accu stock and the Accu trigger and all that stuff, but it looks like a traditional stock. So now, when I bought mine, if I could have found the deal that this is right now with I got mine $100 rebate too, but these things were going for $1,000 when I bought my rifle. They had just come out. If they had this rifle at the deal that they have now, I'd have bought that for sure. Because it's a bitchin' rifle. But other than, I mean, theoretically, you know, it's not going to be, it's the same action and barrel as mine. It's the chassis that's different, and they blueprint the action and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, just looking at this, monolithic machine from a solid billet of aluminum. I can tell you from personal experience that, that's going to be a couple hours to machine this out, unless they're just doing one op per machine and flipping it real quick. I mean, if they just put this in one machine and did it from start to finish, it'd be hours upon hours. And I can't imagine that their machining rates or cost of machining is any cheaper than what a regular job shop does. So you're paying for a
is that a
gussied up
difference
action
between that and the one he bought?
What's that?
Is that a difference between this one and the one that Midnight bought? Is his not, solid machined aluminum?
No, mine. I'll bring mine up here.
Hold on.
I'll bring up what I bought.
What one do you have? It's a Model 10.
It's a FCP SR.
I'm just wondering if a broke guy could get the cheaper one and make it comparable at a lesser price.
Well, now they changed it a little bit, because mine, they stopped making mine, and now they call it like the Savage Tactical or something.
Threaded barrel?
Yeah, it's a threaded barrel. It's a 10-round mag. It's a
detachable box?
Detachable mag, yeah.
Okay, so it'd be like this?
Yeah. Yep, that's basically it. I mean, it's similar to that.
Okay, so just going off the features, AccuFit system, AccuStock, adjustable trigger, you got your offset rail and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I forgot what the question of why we were looking at this.
he was asking if there's what's the price difference between the Stealth and that.
Okay, MSRP on this is $800, and the Stealth was. Let's go back here. Oh, they don't even. Way to go, Savage! You list everything out. All right, let's.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, here we go. 6.5. Why did they only list it for the 338 rem? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's way high.
Oh, wait,
that's also
that's for 223. No, hell no.
So,
No, but we're comparing MSRP to MSRP.
Right.
And, yeah. No, so, I don't know. Yeah, any type of chassis system like that's going to be $300, maybe $400 easy. For something that's, solid aluminum rather than just their, let me go back here. Because if I remember right, their AccuFit system basically means this is a regular old injection molded stock, but where the action beds into the stock, they've got a piece of billet aluminum that's like a V block. So it's supposed to hold it nice and true and everything compared to...
it's bedded. Yeah, it's not... I don't think they glass bed, but they might be...
No, they've... Wait, AccuFit
I don't remember.
AccuFit is your stock thing. No, I know on their regular 110s or their versions of the Ruger Americans and that kind of their base models, some of them they just basically have a piece of aluminum going here to stiffen up the fore end so it doesn't bow and touch the barrel when you put it on a bipod, and then it's like a quicker and easier way to made up the system without having
you're
to,
basically reinforcing it in a cheaper way.
Yeah, you're reinforcing it, and then where it beds into the stock, you don't have to glass bed it or get it all that. Well, I don't want to say all that precise, but as precise as, say, one of these chassis systems or that, or go through the whole hassle of glass bedding. I think it makes
To answer Rob's question, I think it was Rob that was asking that. The answer for me, Rob, is I don't know the damn difference. I am long range ignorant. You guys know that. I'm just getting into long range. And the only reason why I kind of fell in love with stealth is because the people that I've talked to that I respect that do long range stuff said that that's like the best, you know, without going into the McMillans of the world and the high, high end.
Yeah.
They said that the stealth is probably the best kind of, you know, entry into long range, especially at 6.5. That's why I went with it. The answer is I don't have a damn clue what the difference is.
I think too, when you're getting into, I mean, they're both, if you can hand load, that would be the difference between the two rifles too for somebody. I guarantee it. Like if you hand load for my rifle and shoot factory ammo through the stealth, you could probably still shoot better with the hand loads in my rifle. But it all depends on the guy behind the trigger. I sure as hell, you know, I mean, Ghost shoots a shitload more than I do. I guarantee either one of the rifles he picks up, he's probably going to shoot better than I would. The rifle shoot better than
I mean, you know, long distance. I mean, long distance is a completely different animal. I think everyone in this room knows that.
Yeah.
And I had a buddy of mine in the Marines that was a shitty shot with his AR. I mean, he wasn't bad, but I mean, to standards, you get an AR or an M16A2 and put him at the 300-yard line, and he was very, very average. But guess what? He was our team sniper. You put something at 338 or 50 in his hands and put him at 1,000 yards, and he was unbelievable. So, you know, there are different there's different shooters for different weapons systems, and you know, I'm pretty good shot with an AR or a handgun, but I mean, you put a long range in there, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy it, and I enjoy probably more than anything. I enjoy the challenge of it. That's what, you know, that's something that's new to me. It's challenging, but you know, my team sniper was a average at best with the M16 in his hands.
Yeah, I really enjoy accuracy shooting with rifles. Like I didn't really do it as a kid. I mean, I shot a little bit of everything as a kid, I guess. You know, I shot 22. I shot you know, handgun, I shot shotgun, I did everything. And when I started getting back into guns when I was older, you know, it was just handguns at first, and I really didn't shoot rifle a whole lot. But once I started shooting rifle, as soon as I started shooting rifle, I started trying to make everything treat everything as accurate as I could. You know, my 8mm was like, that's why I scoped that, because I wanted to, and I started hand loading for that because I wanted to see how accurate I could make it. And then, you know, with my, you know, even with the AK and all that kind of stuff, like, I don't know, like I like to shoot slow and I like to be as accurate as possible. It's almost like competing against myself. So with my 308, that's why I like my 308 so much. And that's why I think I'm going to really like shooting this 223, you know, this Howa, because like I was listening to somebody on a chat today while I was doing some cooking, and they were saying, it's so boring to shoot it's so boring to shoot rifle, and it's so boring to shoot targets. And I'm like, I enjoy that more than I do shooting handgun, you know, fast handgun, because it's just like, you know, it gives me a chance to like really kind of compete against myself, and I try and take as many variables out as possible, and each little thing you do wrong, you notice. You know, with a handgun, you're a little high, you're a little low, you're a little left, you're a little right, whatever. You're shooting steel, it's no big deal or whatever. But if you shoot a 5-shot group and 4 of them are touching and 1 of them is high, you're like, shit, what the hell did I do on that one shot? That's what I like about it.
I'm completely different than that, because my whole life of training and all of that is not about precision. I've never been a precision guy. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those guys, even when I teach, I'm teaching, if you get in the silhouette, homie's going down, you know, right. In the thread, if you hit the silhouette. And so I've never been handguns, ARs, whatever. I've never been a precision guy. For me, that's just not, for me, it's more, I don't know, result oriented. I'm trying to end a threat, and that's what I like about the idea of long range precision is that it's something so new to me, and it's challenging me because I've never been that guy, you know.
Yeah, that's I know I can see where people can go either way. And with me, it was I don't know. I just took to it because it was. You have to worry about your breathing. You have to worry about where you put your finger on the trigger. You have to worry about how you squeezed it. You got to worry about, when you pulled the trigger during your breath. You have to all that little stuff, and it's like when you have a gun that's capable of shooting 1/4 MOA. If you can shoot a 1/4 inch and you shoot 3 1/4 inch and then one of them's a flyer, you're like, God damn it, where did that come from? And if you reload, then you really start to get psycho about it. And you're like, well, I know the ammo was dead on. I know it was, I know the length was right and the amount of powder was right. And I know that all the primers were, you know what I mean? I know everything was right. And the gun's been shooting great. What did I do wrong? I like that. That's cool.
See, I want to ask the guys in the panel out there, on the thing, that have a lot more experience at long range than I do. For me, I think that shooting precision will probably be relaxing. Relaxing, not shooting, multiple shots quickly, just, one shot a minute or whatever. But listening to you say that, it almost seems like it might be even more. Like I said, I'm ultra competitive. Like I'll cut your throat playing marbles, like literally. But like for the ultra competitive guy, I mean, maybe having that flyer will drive me even more crazy. I don't know, but I like to hear from you guys. I mean, that do shoot more long range. Is it relaxing or is it more stressful?
Well, can I get what do you consider long range? First of all, there it goes.
Well, I'm going to start out at when I say long range, I start, I probably say 1,000 yards and higher in my eyes, because M16 is effectively, could go at 800. It may not be a great effective range at 800, but it could go to 800 yards. So I would say 1,000 yards and above is something that is long range. Like that in my eyes is kind of like the benchmark of where long range starts is 1,000 yards. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I look at it.
No, that's right. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I was just trying to get a baseline. But yeah, that's for me. I've talked to people, some of the forums and whatnot, because I want to get into the long range shooting as well. And I've had people ask me that same question about what do you consider long range, and that's why I usually answer it with depends on caliber. That's for 308. 6.5, anything bigger, I'd say 1,000 yards is kind of the start of the long range. Then again, I've also seen guys that are taking 22 long rifle and pushing it to 300-400. So it really can't. That's just kind of how I break it down. But so I just want to kind of get a baseline on your ideas.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I consider, when I start saying long range precision, I'm looking at 1,000. That's kind of what I would like to, that's kind of where I am. But like I said, I'm very ignorant when it comes to long range. I've very, very limited experience.
You got 1,000-yard ranges out there?
I've got one that just opened up about a month ago, and I got an email from a guy. It's about 45 minutes from me, and it says 800 yards. But in his email, he said if I need to go to 1,000, he has ways to make it 1,000 that he could use corresponding land, but the actual range itself is 800. But still, that is still, for me, that's still pretty long range.
That's a very
when I consider my shooting, I try to keep. I consider my shooting, 300 yards and honestly, probably even 100 yards, and even with an AR or some kind of carbine, 100 yards, because in my eyes, my whole life has been about, either the combat shoot or the self-defense shoot. Anything outside of 100 yards it really isn't in the realm of that life. You know what I'm saying? So 800 yards for me would be fine, but I consider, when I hear people say long range, I consider 1,000 yards as that kind of that benchmark.
Well, I don't have an opportunity at my range to shoot any more than 100. There is one out in like Lewistown or something. The one that Coda Boy goes to, that's 1,000 yards.
Now I know that people say you can go to a 100-yard range and minimize the target size to simulate longer ranges. Making a smaller target to simulate it. But still, there's nothing like that. I mean, to me,
it ain't quite the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
you're not going to have
Yeah.
the same flight time or the
Yeah,
having to correct for the windage or that.
Exactly. You're not going to have to actually do calculations. It's just your 100 yards zero, you pull the trigger, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that's kind of crazy that I've never done. And when you look at some of the 1,000-yard and some of the really long ranges, and a lot of them, they have flags on them, like wind, flags for the wind on them, and you'll see the wind blowing one way 100 yards, and 300 yards it's blowing the other way, and you get out another couple 100 yards and it's blowing back the other way again. It's like,
Yeah. When I was down in Texas last year shooting with Charlie and shot at 1,000 yards, he introduced me to the Mirage. You hear about the Mirage, but I had never seen the Mirage before. I didn't understand how to read wind by the Mirage. And you're like, oh, okay. So you can, like you said, you could have it 100 yard, 300, 500, 700 yard wind flags, and they all could be going different directions. But ultimately, that Mirage is going to kind of tell you what's happening at the target. So I think that's kind of cool,
Yeah. I don't know. Anybody else have any experience shooting long range? I don't. I have experience trying to shoot little tiny holes, but I've never shot anything more than 100 yards.
Yeah, my farthest so far has been 440.
Well, that's a ways out there.
Farthest I've ever.
That's on Buddy's farm. We can shoot 440 on his at the extreme end of his range. There's a range about an hour's drive from here that non-members can only shoot the 100. If you pay the membership fee, then they do have a shooting lane that starts, I think, at 400, and they have targets every 100 yards out to 1,000.
So I've played around a little bit, but nothing. I don't even know what the ranges were. Other than that, mainly 600 meters or less.
Yeah, the furthest I got at my house is 100 yards.
Yeah, Buck, have you been out to that Bald Knob range yet? I'm assuming you haven't. If you haven't shot,
No, not yet. I haven't.
We need to go sometime for sure.
I'm off for the next 2 days.
Well, I'm working. But you're going to come down Sunday and shoot with me, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Look, just show up at the golf course, man. There's lots of places you can shoot over 100 yards there.
That might be.
You've got a driving range. There you go.
The golf course is closing there, ain't it?
Oh no, we didn't open the whole time.
That's where Ghost. You probably got more information on this than I do, because I was asking somebody that I know that used to play a little bit of golf. That's for like the different par, on various holes. Is that based on distance, or is that based on something else?
95% of it is based on yardage, but it's also could go down to the difficulty of the hole. You can have, let's say 400 yards is like the benchmark to consider par 5, because basically what they're saying is if you hit 2 of your perfect shots, golf for make it there, and if the answer is no, then it's going to be a par 5. But typically, it's mostly yardage. I mean, there are circumstances where you'll see 500-yard par 4s, but it might be way downhill, so it doesn't play the same length or whatever. But most of the time, it's
okay. Yeah, that's for the reason I was asking, because I've made jokes about with friends before about golf courses or misuse of rifle ranges. So I was kind of always curious about what the when I would hear part of this, part of that, I was always kind of curious about that.
Yeah, from my office, our first hole is a par 5, and it's about 525 yards. And if I sit in my office to the flag stick in the middle of the green, it's about 650 yards. And I've sat there many, many times just wondering, what if I just pulled out a rifle and just took a shot and there was nobody there? But I don't think the neighborhood would like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could do it once.
Mm-hmm. I could do it once. Then I had to worry about it. Then I had to figure out how to pay the mortgage after that. Yeah.
Well, Suppressor. There you go. That's your solution.
Have you been around suppressors much? It's not like it is in the movie theaters, I promise you.
Well, I know that much. But
It's exactly like the movies.
Well, that's why you gotta use that 300 red fart. It's just so quiet.
Say what movie was that where they just shot at the gophers all day on the golf courses?
Pew, pew. Yeah, Caddyshack.
Get a part-time job like that, you know?
Yeah. I don't think my wife would appreciate that. She's become accustomed to a certain style of life, you know.
Hey, I just got a notification that Johnny Appalachia likes my Gizzard Gary is hissing mad comment on the possum post.
There you go.
He must be up looking at it.
Well, he's not teaching right now. So he's got nothing else to do because he's not in school right now. So probably so.
Yeah. Suppressors are John Wick quiet. Yeah.
Exactly. Aren't they all? I mean, maybe a 22 suppressed. Maybe a 300 blackout if you're really lucky on a soft load, a light load. But the only thing I've ever heard is kind of like Hollywood quiet would be like a 22 suppressed. That'd be the only thing that could come close to Hollywood quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that that suppressors only cut the decibel down by about 15 to 20 decibels. That's why it was a joke.
I know. I'm just messing with you, bro.
Well, Ghost, what you need to do is
but all you do is you
get
take
yourself
the shot.
Get yourself a small business loan. Go over to Morphe's or whatever that other fancy auction house is, and wait until they've got one of those what are the Laz carbines or whatever, where they pretty much just took an Enfield and made the entire barrel a suppressor. You're perfectly fine.
You just take the shot and then you run out of your office. Say, what in the world was that?
Right? Yeah. Well, the sad thing is at least half the people in the neighborhood shoot guns at the range with me. Like they're all members of the
I can
club,
promise you, people can't figure out anything on just one shot. They can't figure out where it came from.
Right.
Did you hear that? I heard that. Did you hear that?
Unfortunately, they all know that I shoot because I shoot a lot. A lot of them shoot with me. They're members of the gun club as well, so they would probably figure it out really quickly who it was.
Well, just go get a cannon. Say, I was golfing.
Yeah.
It's golfing that sucks less.
Oh man, tell me that you've got one of those golf ball launchers for your AR. You have one of those?
I've got a golf ball launcher and a can launcher.
But that would be awesome.
Nice.
They are loud.
Ghost, you should set up a tournament where you guys just use one of those to play golf with. It'd be awesome.
It'd be something.
Now you're talking. I'm in.
I mean, if the safety Nancy's want to get their panties all in a bunch, say fine. We won't use pop cans full of concrete. We'll go down to the dollar store and get those Nerf balls that have fins on them that whistle.
Well, do they have red flags in that state? Because if they do,
negative.
You might want to think twice, Ghost. Or
no. We're luckily Arkansas is pretty tame when it comes to all that. There was a red flag that was proposed last year, and I think that not only did it not make it out of the committee, I think that even the Democratic Party leaders in the state asked the guy not to run again. Like, it was that bad. So I'm not saying we're safe. I'm saying it's probably a pretty good chance we won't see red flags.
That's cool. I'm just thinking, if I walked on a golf course here and was
you're screwed.
Let's do that with it.
Yeah, you're screwed. We'll never see you again.
Probably.
We were talking about 1022s. We were talking about 22s. I saw this the other day too, and I thought, man, this is a cool looking rifle. 1022. They're short. They're 16-inch barrels. Bass Boy says, "Where can I get the golf ball launcher?" I don't know. Google it, bro.
Let's see.
Google it.
Google it everywhere.
Yeah, these
Look,
are the
Bass Boy, all you got to do is
1022.
find yourself one of those magazines that has like the brass knuckles that are paperweights and all the other kind of weird, like hillbilly or redneck stuff. I'm sure, like 2 or 3 pages in, you'll find an ad for some made out of the finest Chinesium in the world, along with very overpriced
I
blanks.
love the knuckles that they call meat tenderizers because they can't have them in some states as knuckles. They call them meat tenderizers.
Yeah. But I saw a picture of this one, the yellow one.
That's pretty sweet.
The
today.
DeWalt yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that cool
pretty
looking?
cool.
Yeah, it's a Talo, but they come with like a little backpack, and it's a takedown, so it, breaks down. But it's only a 16.5 inch or a 16.12 inch, so almost 16 and a half. They're a little spendy, as
16 and an
Snob
eighth.
would say.
Did they state
Yeah,
how they
but,
did that finish?
It's all anodizing.
Sarah. Yeah, or is it? I thought it was
be
Sarah.
concerned that anything bright like that, if you scratch it on, something that might stand out pretty quick.
Yeah,
Well,
point one. 16.12 is probably 16 and an eighth because 0.125 of an inch is 1/8 of an inch. So it's probably just a 16 and 1/8 inch barrel, just enough to be legal.
Hey, now let me ask you a question.
it's all-
Scroll back up a little bit. Next to the yellow one, I can't see on my phone. But next to the yellow one, is that like a kind of like a turquoise?
Like a robin's
blue?
egg. Yeah, it's like a robin's egg.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my daughter's favorite color. I might have to look at that for her. She likes shooting 22.
Well, Ghost,
Yeah, they're
the
pretty
model
sweet.
number is 2116-3.
Get it.
Get it? I
Giggity.
mean, it's a
Order it
Ruger
right now.
1022 and a takedown.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer for getting a 22 rifle.
Between you and Midnight, y'all spent a lot of my money today. Just
Well, that's where if you were to get her one in that color, what would she shoot more? That or the bullpup carbine that you picked up for?
she loves the bullpup. That's her baby. So she'll shoot the hell out of that.
A backpack 22 or breakdown 22 it's not a bad investment. Even maybe as you get older in life, or he gets older.
Yeah, especially one of these lights, since it's it's just a rifled sleeve and in an aluminum shroud and block.
Mm-hmm. You buy her that and put a suppressor on it for her. There you go.
No. Daddy's gonna have a suppressor before daughter has a suppressor. Just saying.
Well, they make thread adapters, so Daddy's suppressor can go on daughter's gun.
True that.
And I mean, it's a 22, so it's not like, I'm sorry, dear, but I'm sorry, kiddo, but the 9mm suppressor I have won't go on the 45 carbine I bought you. It'll just break it.
Yeah, a little over $500. A little pricey.
What's going on with the barrel?
Oh, but here's what I saw. That's a nice little package. It's got 2 different stock options for length of pull, and it's got the little carrying case. It's pretty sweet. That's the picture I saw, and I was like, "Oh, look at that
I got
thing,
one of
man.
those
I want one of
takedowns.
those."
That comb there, it comes off, and you put a different one on.
Yeah.
Is it weird? I've never shot a 1022.
Yes, it's almost
Yes,
terrible.
that's weird.
Hold on.
That's very weird.
Yeah,
hold on. Pickle, have you shot a Marlin Model 60?
Yeah, that was my 8th grade graduation gift, along with 500 rounds of ammo.
Okay,
nice.
Marlin Model 60 or 1022. It's it's a toss up between them. The 60 was popular for a while, but the 1022's really taken it over.
I'm just gonna throw it out there because no one else will say it. I think it's odd that your parents were so excited that you graduated 8th grade they got you a gun. That doesn't say much about what they thought you were going to do in life.
Probably.
You met
They
my
probably
dad?
never.
That should explain a lot.
That's why they said. They
It's like,
probably never thought they'd have to buy it. They're like, "Yeah, we'll buy you a gun, sure, whatever."
No.
Well, that's
They
true.
just-
He could have been 24. I mean, we don't know.
They came to the realization
That's
that,
true.
son, you're not going to really amount to much in this whole world. So this brick of 22 and this rifle, you should be able to at least eat for the rest of your life.
Yeah, he was a 6-time redshirt 8th grader.
You're not supposed to tell everybody that, there, Ghost.
I'm not telling everybody, only the people on YouTube who watch this shit show.
That's a whole different meaning to super senior.
He only told 35 people that are watching.
I'd state that.
And I promise you, they won't tell it. They won't tell anyone. I promise you that. They won't say a thing to anybody else.
All right, everybody out in the chat, here's what I want you to do. I want you to type 1 if you're not going to tell them, and type 0 if you're going to tell everybody you know. Start now.
With friends like you guys, I don't know if I need enemies.
No, you definitely don't. I'm just
don't worry, Pickle. I'll tell you what. I don't think I've ever shot a semi-automatic 22 rifle. Tell you the truth.
Seriously?
We didn't have one. Yeah, we didn't have one when I was growing up. We had all bolt actions, and a lever gun, a lever action 22. Yeah, you know what? I have, because I had a buddy that had a Marlin 60. I think it was probably a 60. I remember shooting that, I guess, when I was a kid. But that was probably the only time I ever have. And I don't have a semi-auto 22 now.
DT just hit the rewind button.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about bedwetting and Calaveras being a pickle or something like that.
Jeez,
that's low-hanging fruit right there, man.
Well, hey, look, man. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Every pickle, once it comes out of the jars, it's got a little extra moisture. Sometimes it's got a little leakage.
Whoa.
Wow.
Hey, now.
We went there.
So, I also...
See what happens when I miss a week?
This is a cool article I found from the late 80s. And it was called Colt Super Sharpshooter. This was on the gun feed. They had and I clicked on it to see what it was all about. And it said Colt Super Sharpshooters, and it was this neat article of guys. The first time that they really were competing exclusively in marksmanship competitions with the M16, AR-15 platforms. And it was pretty neat. It was just about, it's like 58 guys, I think, joined the competition, and it was really cool. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing. It's pretty large, a pretty long article. They talked about the different, and they actually gave away guns to the winners. Yeah, we'll read it now. It'll take us about an hour. And then as I got down to the top or down to the bottom here, I was like, holy shit, look at this picture. And it's like, I was like, man, those guys look familiar. I was like, is that? And then I thought, it clicked into my head. I was like, look at that. It's back in the 80s. It's like, is that Mad Dog Mattis and Dale Earnhardt?
Is that
and
one
Bill
of the
Dance
Mattis?
And I think so.
Holy
and
hell.
Sarge from C4 Defense. Right there. It's General Mattis.
No. Sarge's mustache is not as epic as that mustache.
It's Mad Dog Mattis, Dale Earnhardt, Bill Dance, and Sarge. Right there.
Yeah, I see the one you're pointing to, but the mustache is not as epicness.
The first one that jumped out, I was scrolling through and I was like, "Holy shit! Is that Bill? That dude looks just like Bill Dance." And I was like, "Well, let's see who's the other guys here. Let's figure this out."
Did he slam the barrel in his tailgate like he does his fish?
Yeah.
And on the bottom picture, the guy in the far left was Clover when he still had hair.
With his belly hanging out.
Belly hanging out and a busted wing.
He's not wearing an Avengers shirt.
Yeah, he does. He has something on his shirt. What does he have on his shirt there? Looks like the.
Well, I don't know.
Like
what happened to put his arm in a sling? Did he? Did Armentius shoot him or what?
Yeah.
No, what you see? What actually happened is those little signs that they have in music parts that say you must be at least this tall to ride this ride. Well, he stuffed
Hey,
a couple
watch it now, Ape.
He
Not
stuffed a
everyone
couple
is
of
blessed to be
2x4s.
tall.
I didn't say tall. I simply said this tall. All right. There's
Well,
ones. There's ones that on a full-grown man, it's like at the waist.
You're busted. You're busted.
I have to rappel out of those roller coaster cars, you know. So,
well,
they give me a milk carton to sit on top of.
Well, if you would sit with your back up against the seat instead of trying to have your short little legs hanging over the edge, you wouldn't have to hold on to the safety bar like that.
I don't have a choice but have my legs hanging over the edge. That's just reality to me. That's life. They hang over the edge of my car. I use a golf club to use the pedals in my car.
Oh, enough of this bullshit. Mr. Knives, welcome, sir.
Yo.
You know what's funny? What's great about this picture though is you can imagine like this dude's buddies knew he was in this picture, and they probably looked at it and were like, "Son of a bitch, Bill! Couldn't you even suck your gut in for 5 seconds while they took the picture?"
All right, who's got a youth large T-shirt for Bill over here?
He's down here smoking a cigarette with his gut hanging out. Damn it, Bill!
Dang it, Bill!
This is a pretty neat article, though. I thought it was pretty cool. It's pretty neat. But
going being serious, like what year kind of was this about?
88, I believe.
Oh wow!
They talked about the
so the A1 was still prevalent back then.
Yeah, they were using. They were all using A1s or the A2s.
The A2 was just kind of,
it looks like the A2 grip.
It does, but like the A1 was, I mean, I'm sure the A1 was still the one they kind of went to because the A2 was kind of, relatively new. You know what I'm saying?
Not triangular.
There was a picture of one with the triangular hand. I thought I saw a picture of one with the triangular hand guard. Oh, that one there.
I think that
has one of the cool things.
Yeah.
One of the cool things is it says, and the caption says, Colt armorers were on hand, but all they had to do was check trigger weights. There was not a malfunction during the 2 days of shooting. So, and then,
well, if I remember correctly, didn't they swap out the triangular handguards fairly early with the regular round ones because they were less prone to breakage?
My knowledge, it was they swapped it with the A2, but I don't know.
Well, that, and since the current handguards are, they're universal, you don't have to have a mold for a left side and a right side.
I was issued one with the triangular handguard when I first started at the office. We had surplus M16s, full auto. Colt.
So how did that triangular handguard feel in your hand there, Sarge?
Okay. But it wasn't as fun wielding around a 20-inch long rifle instead of an M4,
Yeah.
A little big.
Yeah.
But
we talked about the price of ammo here, too. It was like you can get surplus ammo for around $60 for a case of 500. But he uses Samson 63 grain match grade ammo at about $99 a case. So were cases of 1,000 not as common as they are now? Because they talk about a case as 500 rounds. Now it's like that'd be a half case.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think cases depend on how much they can fit on a pallet.
I'm just waiting for the military to go to 6.8, so there is a flood of 5.56 surplus coming in. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, as long as they don't bury it all or destroy it all.
They might use it for training or something, but there will be some released, I'm sure.
There'll be some, but I don't... Well, they're already starting to phase out the current stock for that. I forget what the heck the actual designation is. The one that's got the brass and the steel penetrator that they found out kind of eats mags and feed ramps.
I'm just waiting for those green tip armor piercing ones that Braden keeps talking about.
Yeah, anyway.
According to
That's the good
my
shit.
soldier's handbook, it's a M16A1 rifle was the triangular one, and then
That's
it did
correct.
switch to the M16A2 / M16A3 rifles is the more modern style.
That's correct. But the question that was asked was, did they ever switch like an A2 handguard over to the A1? I don't know. When I got in, we were
other way
strictly
around.
A2. We didn't even see it. We didn't even see an A1 like ever. Like I saw A2 only. We never even saw an A1 in the Corps.
Well,
did the A1 wasn't like the whole A2 upgrade, or at least the sighting system, that kind of like at the Marine Corps', I don't know if you want to call it behesting or prompting, that hey, we want fully adjustable rear sight instead of this half and half bullshit?
Once again, man, I don't know. I wasn't, and I knew nothing about guns before I joined the Marines. So literally, I joined the Marines, learned how to shoot on an A2. So I didn't really know or care really what happened before that. I can tell you that the range guys, the guys, and especially the older guys that were there, they swore by the A2 over the A1. So for whatever reason, they thought it was a major upgrade, but I never shot an A1.
Well, I know originally they didn't have forward assists and the dust covers and stuff, but did they add those to A1s, or when they added that, is that considered an A2?
Photo I have in front of me shows a dust cover and a forward receiver on the A1.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So they changed that, but it was still considered an A1. I wonder if it was like an A1 something. They probably put a different designation on it or something.
Oh, they hold on.
Did they have 3-round bursts for the A1? Because they only had 3-round bursts on the A2. So I wonder if
that came in. I don't think so. Came in with the A2.
Okay.
Yeah, because the A1. I'm sure Colt or Springfield did the basic workup for the burst mechanism on A1s, and then hey, we're doing this rolling rev change, or we're doing a whole new revision of the rifle, so might as well just put it in there. What's this guy's name?
I like the 3-round burst. I mean, considering, I've shot a bunch of full auto stuff, but the 3-round burst, for a combat battle rifle, I mean, it's great because you can really control your muzzle a hell of a lot more than 3-round bursts, But I don't know. I don't know if that's one of the reasons why they went to it or what. But I enjoyed the 3-round burst.
They went to the 3-round burst precisely because what you said. It was a way to expedite training compared to full auto. And, the whole idea behind it is, well, it's going to the guns are going to recoil some, but if we can get it to where it only fires a little bit to where the recoil shouldn't affect it too much, and to where, these idiots that, what's the phrase? Training to the lowest common denominator isn't going to dump the entire mag and not hit anything. So, trying to find this video.
I think it's
a small arms.
It's a conservation of ammo as much as it is an accuracy too. I'm sure. I've never been in the military, but I mean that's what I've always heard is they're just going through ammo like crazy, just spraying and praying into the jungles. You know what I mean? And
they're not hitting anything.
They're going through hundreds of rounds of ammo and not doing anything but burning the rifles up.
No, ammo conservation is a well-documented government bureaucratic or government bureaucracy overriding military request or perceived needs. Going back to the, hey, we're going to just make this single-shot rifle conversion out of our old rifles instead of going to lever guns, because these idiots will just waste ammo. Same with the Craig Jorgensen and the 1903 rifles. Why they've got a magazine cut off? It was we don't want you burning ammo, so we're just going to let it so you can only single load at a time. And well, if you absolutely have to, you can flip this little lever and be able to actually use your magazine.
The interesting thing is we use 24 round mags. We didn't use 30 round mags. We used 24 round mags back then. So we always downloaded to 22. That's what our armors always told us to download to 22.
Yeah.
But we didn't use 30 round mags. We used 24 mags, 24 round mags.
And that's something I'd never heard before. In your show a couple weeks ago, you guys were talking about that on your show, Ghost. I think that you guys would load 20 or you'd load 28 in a 30 round mag.
I still do download too. Yeah, sure do.
Yep, 28
is
to
that
30.
still something that's common with newer production stuff?
I don't know. I can tell you why I did it. It was one, that's what I was told to do, first of all.
Right.
But two, the way it was explained to me was you never know when you're talking about military stuff. Also, you never know, like the quality control isn't the greatest. Let's be honest. So they never knew if the springs were going to be great or not. So they always said download a 2, make sure that the spring tension isn't just completely just overwhelmed, because you don't know what it's going to be. So I would always download a 2. That being said, I mean, except for a couple times in my career there, I never had any feeding issues or feed issues or malfunctions or anything. So I just kind of assumed that maybe downloading 2 was something that just worked. So I've always done it, and very rarely do I run into cycling issues. So I don't know if it's has anything to do with it or if it's just that's the way it is. I don't know, but that's the way I was told, and that's why I still run. I'll still run a 28 and a 30 right now.
They're still teaching that now.
Yeah. Okay.
Still now, even in law enforcement, they teach you to download a couple because a lot of times you're loading a mag on a closed bolt, and you have to have that little bit of movement. So you're risking more by loading it up with 30 than you are by just dropping 2.
Yeah, and we were
I'd never heard that
taught
before,
never to run dry either. I mean, we don't. And let's be honest, in the fog, you don't understand that. You don't keep count of how many rounds you go through, but you kind of have an idea. When you start getting close, we went ahead and switched mags. We were taught if at all possible, don't ever run dry. So it wasn't like we were, oh my gosh, well, we only got 22 rounds instead of 24. We never went through the whole 24 rounds. We probably ended up going through like 19 or 20 of them before we switched mags.
So when you did that, though, did you dump mags or did you hold on to them?
Depends on the situation. You're in training, you hold on to them.
Yeah. Because you would think like I don't know. I would think like if you're out in the field and you're changing mags after 20 rounds, I don't know. Wouldn't you be afraid to? That's a finite supply of ammo that you have with you. You know what I mean? You don't want to dump your mag and leave 4.
Anywhere from 6 to 8 mags at a time.
Yeah.
At any given time, and you shared ammo, you shared mags. Hey, I'm running low. Throw me one. Someone's going to throw you one. Whatever. Remember also is like if you go down range, before you go to forward and weapons training. Now, you hope that you never have to use them, but you're familiar with AK-47s and 74s. So worst case scenario, you're picking something off the ground and you're rolling, So I never heard of anybody ever having issues with dropping mags and all that. It's just one of those things. You do it. But we were also running those old metal mags. We didn't use P mags back then. Those metal mags, they could take a beating,
Yeah. Clovertac says he typically uses a hammer and loads 36 in a 30 round mag.
That explains a lot, though. That explains a lot. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I found out that if
your growth.
I found out that if you take the mag apart, you kind of trim off all that little kind of wiry stuff and take out that little restrictor plate that they put in there. You can fit far more ammunition in that magazine than you can with it.
Yeah, if you took the spring out, you could probably fit a lot more.
Just got
just turned upside down as a gravity feed.
When you shoot.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
All right, guys, I'm taking off. Good chatting with you.
All right, see you, buddy.
Peace out.
So you got this article with this dude. Says man busted with 90 guns, researched mass shootings. Did you guys hear about this one?
I haven't heard
Young guy,
anything about it.
early 20s.
On the title, though.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. There's you see that and you're like, oh shit, okay. There's more to it though. This is pretty crazy. One of the biggest issues with creating laws to combat mass shootings is that it's simply not needed. We have plenty of laws in the books that already allow us to thwart mass shooters before anyone can get hurt. We also know that there's absolutely no law in the books that will really stop a determined bad actor from getting guns. Recently, the ATF made an arrest that may well suggest both of those points are absolutely correct. A South Carolina student was arrested and accused of illegally possessing 90 weapons, including numerous assault rifles, authorities said. Edward Daniel Kimpton Jr. sounds like a troublemaker. 25 was charged Tuesday with wire fraud, mail fraud, illegal possession of machine guns, the Columbia State reported. Kimpton was arrested Friday after an 18-month investigation by the ATF. He's a Midlands Technical College student. It seemed, get this shit. I mean, this is crazy that this dude got away with this for as many times as he did. It seems Kimpton had a neat little scam going. He'd buy guns online, have the guns shipped to various FFL holders all over the state. Then he'd go pick them up, only then challenge the purchases with his credit card company, saying he never got the stuff. The same stuff he had already taken possession of. That means all those guns were basically stolen. However, since he also didn't actually pay for any of the equipment, he was able to amass quite an arsenal. So I cannot believe this dude got away with this. Federal agents searched Kimpton's house and storage unit and found 90 weapons, almost 24,000 bullets, body armor, tactical clothing, gas masks, 5 bump stocks. And it's only a few hundred rounds per weapon, though that's not particularly relevant. What is relevant, however, was some research that Clinton conducted. Go ahead.
Hang on 1 second. In that article, notice what they have there. And 5 bump stocks, which are used to change regular assault rifles into automatic weapons. Talk about a bullshit article right off the bat.
Well, and they said, okay, the last bit was a little
article
stupid.
right off the bat.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the whole bump stock thing. Well, I don't even know where we stand right now as far as bump stocks, because the ATF made it sound like they were illegal, and then they came out and said they weren't illegal. Where do we stand with bump stocks? Are they technically still legal or no?
It's still in court right now. It's still sitting in limbo right now. But the last thing I heard on it was they can't enforce it because they illegally changed the law. So
that's why I
wouldn't get caught with it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think you're going to find them at your local gun shop for purchase, but I don't know if you have one, they're not going to do anything.
No, you can't. They still have them. Yeah, well, they really can't, because they're going to wind up in a lawsuit. And they're going to wind up losing it. That's the whole issue right now. It's being held right now in limbo because they know they're wrong, but they don't want to overturn it, because then they're going to cost them, all the government, all that money, because they're going to have to replace all the ones that they made people get rid of.
Yeah. It says, during the investigation, authorities discovered that Kimpton researched content on South Carolina mass shooters in Charleston in 2015 and Florence in 2018. He also made online searches for instructions on how to use bump stocks, the complaint said. This suggests that he planned on using these weapons in some kind of mass shooting.
How do they know?
In fact, he was looking... Yeah, I know. That's the thing that's a little bit weird, too. In fact, he was looking at local shootings, which means he wasn't interested in how Las Vegas was carried out, probably because that wouldn't be something he could replicate. So I don't know if there's more than that, if there's more than just him searching it or not. I don't know. look, those determined to commit evil deeds will do whatever they can to secure weapons for their evil deeds. I don't know for sure Kimpton is one of those people, someone determined to carry out evil at the end of a gun, but the evidence certainly looks that way from this point of view. If so, it's important to remember that he was stopped. And as so many other potential mass shooters have been, of course, I'm trying to figure out how a 25-year-old was able to dispute that many charges on his credit card and the card company not think anything was fishy before he managed to get 90 freaking guns. Regardless, Kemper's in jail. Sounds like the judge is worried about Kemper should get out.
The interesting thing about this is technically, I mean, aside from challenging the charges, he didn't, according to this article, he didn't accumulate any of those illegally. He didn't buy them illegally. He bought them and then challenged the charges and basically ripped them off.
It's fraud.
But he didn't. No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is he initially purchased all of those weapons legally. Like, he didn't break any laws by purchasing them. He frauded them later, but he purchased them originally legally.
Right. So
he transferred them legally.
Yeah.
He transferred them legally. He illegally frauded them the entire time.
100% agree with that.
And again, in the beginning of the article, they said he was
everything with the transfer was all 100% above water, according to this article.
So it wasn't any different than him committing fraud against if he'd have done it with lawnmowers or chainsaws or something, it's still credit fraud. He's not an illegal possessor of the guns, other than he got them fraudulently, I guess.
Yes,
but still, it'd be still crazy.
There's nothing saying he can't have 90 weapons. There's no law against that. But the other problem that I have here with this is including numerous assault rifles. Well, there's no such thing. First of all, number one. Number two, he doesn't have any assault rifles, semi-automatics. They're not assault rifles. So, like I said, this whoever did this article, again,
they're reporters. They don't know any better.
It's unbelievable.
Glem, you're an FFL, right?
Yep.
So if you were to sell me a rifle, and the next month I challenge that credit card charge, and they obviously refund my money, what does what kind of recourse do you as an FFL have towards that property at that time?
Then I'd have to put, well, first of all, number one, the credit card, I may or may not even find out about it because that would go through the credit card.
Okay. So it's not like it's not like they're taking your money from you. They're just refunding his money, basically.
Yeah, correct. Like I said, and that's one of the reasons why I don't take credit cards, but that's besides the point.
If you actually sold it, they'd take the money. If you actually sold it instead of just transferred it, they'd take your money back. Of course they would, wouldn't they?
I don't know. I never had a credit card transaction like that. Once it was done, and then it falls back on the credit card company.
I can remember when I worked at a chain auto parts store, when a credit card would be disputed, it would come up as a loss on our system. So the retailer would lose the money.
Well, like I said, my wife does that now, and that's what she does. She does that for a living in the finance department with Dun & Bradstreet. They get credit card disputes all the time. Now, they don't automatically remove that from what they do is they put a freeze on the funds if they haven't already been dispersed. If they have already been dispersed, then it goes through the reversal process or the process of dispute. If they find it in the customer's favor, then they get dinged for it, and it gets removed from them, and it goes back to the customer, and they get it taken away from them. But not until the dispute process is completed and is investigated.
Right, man. I understand how the whole refund process works. I'm talking about the property that was sold. I mean, do you have any recourse to go back to that dude and say, "Look,
because
you owe me that rifle back"?
Absolutely, that's theft. And that's actually if you're doing that for a firearm, it's an automatic felony. That's an automatic first-degree felony. So that's the same way as if you go into a gun store and you give them a bad check, and and
it's fraud.
Yep.
Obtaining property by false pretense.
Yep, but it's also because it's a firearm. It's also that's all goes to a felony, and a federal offense.
But you'd have to press charges for that, correct?
I can either contact the ATF and they can follow through with it, or I can do it.
Okay.
I can do it myself.
Gotcha.
Either way.
Gotcha.
And usually it's easier if I go through the ATF because then they can,
let
do
them handle that.
Yeah, they can do the paperwork. I've done enough of it. Other than I have to do my affidavit.
And they can go try to get the confiscation done.
Yeah, and that's exactly what
I'm
they'll do.
I'm not rolling to Jim Bob and say, "Hey, I want my rifle back," because I probably won't walk out alive.
Well, that's the same way if I run a background and it doesn't come back, and the Brady time passes and I transfer it, and then it comes back as a denial. I have to notify ATF and let them know, hey, this one was already transferred, but it came back as a denial. So what they'll do then is they'll actually send somebody out to my shop. I get copy. I'll give them the copies of the denial and whatever info on the gun that they need, and then they go out and they pick it up.
I wish they'd say how many times. I wish they'd say how many times he did it. Now they say he had 90 guns and he did it multiple times, but they don't say he did it for each one. It'd be interesting to see how many
times.
Right.
Who knows?
Right, but even 3 is kind of crazy that you would get away with.
Yep.
I mean, it just kind of shows you how.
If he did do it 3 times, but he did it on 3 different credit cards, they would have no idea, because credit card companies don't talk to each other like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It shows you that the left hand and the right hand,
Would seem kind of foolish to me to take a very large purchase on a credit card if I was dealing firearms, in a sense. Kind of seems like maybe somebody should have had a little forethought. I don't know, because he must have been buying quite a few at a time if he had 90 and was getting away with this.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, people buy use the credit cards for big stuff all the time, and it's just like, you buy it from Buds and you have it sent somewhere, and the credit card goes through, and Buds is like, "Hey, we're good, all done." They don't give a shit. They're
buy a used car one time for his kid with a credit card to get the miles on the credit card.
Right.
And then he paid the credit card off at the end, but he got the miles on his card. I mean, he had the cash to pay for it, put it on his credit card, got the miles for it, and then at the end of the month paid the credit card bill off with his money. But I mean, people do buy big purchases with credit cards.
I do that now. I actually have a card just specifically for that. So
yeah, but have you ever tried to dispute a credit card charge? I mean, it's a pain in the ass.
No,
not really.
No. Well, it is unless if it's an American Express. If it's an American Express one, it's very easy to do. I mean, all you have to do is go wah wah wah, and that's the end of that. You're automatically going to win. And like I said, I know that because I hear it all the time.
If someone without an FFL walks in and buys, say, 10 guns, 15 guns at one time, that's not going to warrant anything from the ATF.
Oh, absolutely will, because there's what they call a multi-form. And if it's anything from a border state like in Arizona, if you buy more than 2 guns at one time, that's an automatic multi. So that's automatically going to background. That's all going to the ATF. That's going to research. And they like I said, I just got 2 phone calls on multis that I turned in.
Well, if it was 90 guns and, I don't know, a few payments over 3 cards, say, so you're looking at like 9 transactions, total of 90 guns. Do you think that, I don't know. I just assume that would ring a bell unless he was opening a gun store or something. Not saying it should, but the way things are set up, I'm quite shocked that he's not already.
Well, they also said that he had there was an 18-month, the investigation was 18 months. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were already investigating this guy. Yeah.
So it's not like he just did this one weekend or something. So.
No, No, the thing of it is, he had to be going through multiple FFLs because the way it works is if you, like I say you buy a gun from me and then 3 days later you come back and buy another one, or and I'm not the only one here, but I would know it. But if you go to a bigger store and you want to get, it doesn't really matter much because that gets cross-referenced in your paperwork and the store's paperwork. Because if it's within a 5-day period, that generates an automatic multi-gun sale. So if it's a transfer and or a purchase within 5 days at the same dealership, that's an automatic multi sale.
Yeah, it said he was doing it all over the state. He had picked them up all over the state. Now, it didn't say whether he ordered them from the same place or not, which that would be interesting to know too. If he was ordering them pretty much from the same places and then having them
maybe
shipped
he had
all
an
over.
inside job. Somebody there that was working was helping him out.
What would red flag me as an FFL, and I'll use Pennsylvania for example. If I'm in Reading and I have a guy coming from Erie to come and pick up a gun, that's going to be a major red flag because that's the other side of the state.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so him coming across the state for 6 hours or 7 hours, depending, to come pick up a gun.
Yeah.
I'd be questioning that one on why that's being done. So if he was going all over the state to pick this up, and I'm assuming he was, he had to have a valid ID and everything. Those FFLs, I would think, should have been questioning the fact that hey, you're coming from 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9 hours away. What's wrong with the FFLs in your area? There got to be some.
The other part of this is interesting is he wasn't paying he was doing transfer fees to the FFL, but he wasn't paying the FFL for these firearms. He was buying them online and just having them shipped to the FFL. So you got to wonder what's going on. Exactly. The online store probably doesn't give a damn,
Well,
right.
Well, he was buying them online from whoever, and then there's where he picks these little FFLs. Do they have cameras? Do they have anything? How do they know it was actually him that picked them up? Then he disputes them, says he never got them. They can't prove he was there. That's how they get away with this stuff for so long, because it's just time and distance matters.
Well, no, it wouldn't, because he would have to produce an ID because he still has to do a 4473.
I know this.
So
it could be a fake ID.
Yeah, I understand it. Well, it could have been. So there's a lot of things that it could have been, but.
And you're also talking about, and I don't know about South Carolina, but here in Arkansas, if we don't have, in my local gun shop, we don't have the computerized 4473. It's still handwritten. But we also, if we have a CCW, we don't have to wait for the background check. Our concealed carry serves as our background check. So they might not have had to call in all of these things because he might have had a Carolina CCW. I don't know what the laws there are, but that's another thing we're not thinking about. There's all these different aspects to this that obviously he was a fraud, but there's these little bitty things that add up that he's obviously very smart, to
a degree.
To a degree. I mean, he's smart in the way he thought this process out, that there's a good chance he doesn't get caught. Well, it took him 18 months. He got caught, but there for a while, he probably felt like he was beating the system over pretty good.
Oh, he was.
Well,
I bet
he probably did it once. He was like, "Holy shit, I got away with it."
And I just
got
greedy.
"Holy shit, I just got a free gun."
Get caught.
Yeah, I just got a free gun.
Too. My questions to the ATF would be, how did you find out about this? Was it one of those deals where this guy shows up from 4, 5, 6 hours away to get a transfer done, and the shop, said, "Hey, this is a little flaky," and called their ATF agent and said, "Hey, I just had a guy come in," and he took it and ran with him from there.
Well, another thing also, let's just say it's XYZgunshop.com that he's buying these from. They're an FFL. So if he's buying 3 or 4 at a time, even they have to, even though they're online, they still have to report a multi-sale, do they not? Even though they're not a brick and mortar?
No, it's
They
the transferring dealer.
Okay.
So
All
because
right.
as long as it's going to an FFL, that's the responsibility of the transferring FFL to report the multi-sale.
So the quote unquote store or the online store has no responsibility to require to report if the guy's buying 6 guns at
No,
a time. I didn't know that. That's
no,
interesting.
no. That would no. Yeah, if so, some guy goes to Bud's gun shop and buys 6 different guns, they may question it, and they may put a hold on it to confirm the actual purchase. But if they get their confirmation, they can send it to the FFL. Then it'd be the responsibility of the
And if
FFL
they get
to
their money, what do they care at that point?
exactly. So it'd be responsibility of FFL to run the multi-sale and submit the
So
multi-sale.
if he's buying 6 guns at a time from, let's say, let's say Bud's, he's buying 6 guns and has them shipped to 6 different FFLs, there would technically be no reason to raise any suspicion, correct? Technically?
No, that would be a red flag right there. If he's buying 6 different guns and sending them to 6 different FFLs, that would be an issue.
But would is Bud's responsible for reporting that?
They would question that. Yes, they better question it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
they
understand.
better
I'm just
question
I'm trying. I get you. I'm just trying to figure out if they would or not. If they're required to, I should say.
Are they required to? I would have to say at that particular point in time, I would say yes, because that would be a serious red flag. Because that would come back and bite them in the ass, liability-wise.
Yeah, it's just an interesting question. I think this is an interesting scenario. It's fascinating. I never heard anything like this before.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. On different news places to see. Okay, this one says court documents show that federal investigators started looking to Kempton in 2018 when they say received a tip that he had been making some suspicious transactions. Throughout the course of the investigation, they say Kempton used a number of different names and PayPal accounts to purchase firearms and tactical equipment for thousands of dollars. Investigators say he would then contest the purchases after receiving the items and get full credit. Federal court documents say that agents recovered 90 firearms, ammunition, gear, mags, stock, bump stocks, and
so it said he was using different names.
Using multiple names. That's a red flag to begin with. Yeah.
Well,
so he,
okay.
But they don't know. The other one doesn't know what name he's using.
That's true. That's true.
That's why he's doing it.
And I guess as long as you have an ID, if you have an ID to back up that name, I guess
it's anonymity when he goes to all these different places. They don't know him. They don't know who he is. He's just some guy that came in one time, or 6 months later. You know.
And again, he would have to have an ID with that name on it and his picture on it.
It's time and distance. It matters.
That would be an awful lot of work to get IDs.
We ran into legit bank robbers that would kidnap managers and have them go back into the businesses. It was on Dateline. It was on everything. They had legit credit card machines, legit ID making equipment. They had the whole shooting match. So it is quite possible that someone can do this. Quite possible.
Like they had machines that could issue state IDs.
Oh yeah.
There used to be an old school bus that would drive around my area that sold IDs, and like they advertised and everything, and they basically looked 100% legit except for a little hologram sticker on the back that says this is not official or whatever, and everybody just pull the sticker off and go do whatever, buy cigarettes, get in the club, whatever they wanted to do. Yeah, this was a while ago,
baby.
But it's it was that easy. Granted, you're looking 20, 30 years ago, but still, doesn't surprise me much.
I guess with Photoshops and technology, I mean, there are. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do whatever you wanted to with printing out real IDs. I guess I just never thought about people going that extra mile, but it makes sense. If you're a career criminal, then there's really nothing you wouldn't do, I guess.
Well,
Yeah, see, I don't.
I mean, he could use any name and whatever identity he wants online, pay for it, and have it sent to an FFL, and he could pick it up under his real name with his real ID.
Wouldn't that be a straw purchase?
And
it would. That's
no.
the thing. So now, it would be
fraud.
if he used a different name to purchase it
Right.
for that person, for himself, and
Right.
put his name on it. That would be that you can get away with. Because
Right, that's what I mean. Like if I would,
and the FFL
I would say my name's Bob. I would say, okay, I'm Bob. I bought a rifle. I sent it to the FFL, and me as Travis is going to go actually do the purchase. And actually, that's probably how he did it, because he actually did the FFL under his real name probably, and then as Bob, the one that he bought it from, he probably said, "Well, I never got this. I never got it."
Yeah,
that's probably what he did.
Yeah, John Smith.
That would probably be
So John
right.
Smith.
So John Smith never got the gun, but this Edward whatever the hell his name is, he actually has it. They just don't know they're the same person.
Yeah, but again, like Sarge said, that would definitely that
pretty
would be a fraud, and technically you could probably skate away with a straw purchase on that as well, because it would have to be a relative. So it'd have to be somebody carrying the same name, father or brother or something along those lines.
Isn't it?
He just could use John Smith and his name be Bob Jones. It wouldn't work that way. They would flag that immediately.
Yeah. The person filling out the 4473 has to be the person taking possession of the firearm. Paying for it is not really. Yeah, right. Paying for it is not really the issue. Yeah, I guess that's probably how he got away with it. And the credit card companies were like, "Wow, John Smith said he bought a gun and somebody else picked it up." They just never were able to connect the two dots and figure out that was the person that picked it up. That's pretty crazy. That's nuts. Well, there you go. Interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
Never even crossed my mind that somebody could do something somebody could get away with that. You know what I mean? Like, never even thought about it. It's nuts.
I don't believe it. They did it anyway. Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm. It's like this stuff that comes. Go ahead.
I'm just looking at the new 4473s that are going to be issued now. They changed everything now.
So it's no longer.
Everything is now on the front page where it's not supposed to be. So now they had the name,
no
firearm, and everything on the front page now. Yep. I just pulled a new one up.
I thought they were supposed to do that.
Well, it is revised as of May 2020. So they went ahead and did it anyway, even though they weren't allowed to do that. They weren't supposed to. They did it anyway.
Well, since when has the ability to be allow or disallowed to ever stop the ATF from doing something?
But now what are the FFLs going to do? Are they going to fill those out or use old ones?
Well,
that's a good question.
Here, as of,
I mean, can you use the old ones, or are you mandatory to use the new ones?
This form effective January 16th, may no longer previous April edition, April 12th, April 2012, blah, 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 blah. Let me see what they have to say here. I'm just looking to see if they actually implemented this yet.
I don't know. Is this just another way that they trying to weed out the tabletop FFLs by making it more appealing to, hey, you can either fill out this new revised form or you can just use our online system?
Well, no. What this is they can take their pictures and they can do the registration. Is exactly what this is. Is the reason why they didn't want to do it.
That's what I was going to say. This is the first step of a gun registration. Is what this is.
So here's a stupid possible felony of a question. Can you, as an FFL, say, okay, no, simply say, hey, the sign says no cameras in the shop, so hand over your phone and camera, Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. or hers or Ziz ATF's drone?
Huh?
No, technically you can't. However, if they get caught doing that or leaving the premises with that, they can get terminated. That's an automatic termination of positions.
Okay, so you can't tell them, well, we have a no camera policy in here, so you can't do that. But I don't know, could you just say, okay, hey Steve, yeah, take this agent to the office and watch what they're doing? Or does the ATF not like that, period?
Well, no, usually that's the thing. With every place that I've ever dealt with, including myself, I'm always there. I don't leave the ATF agent by himself.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't matter in a
look at the
sense.
forms.
If it's visible, you can get a camera shot of that. I mean, nowadays there's cameras in glasses, hats, pens, buttons.
Yeah, that's that. That's
like a watch. Anything's a camera. And if
they can, but the only problem is if he gets caught, he's got a problem.
Right, but he's probably not going to get caught with his pen versus holding his phone.
But you're talking about getting caught by the agency that printed the new form. Who's going to catch you? If they're all going outside the law.
At that point, though, Glenn, it's your word versus him. You know, who they're going to side with, their own guy or you.
Well, no, no, because we're obligated as an FFL, and that's in their own rules and regulations. And they're told that they cannot do that. Nothing can leave the building.
But I thought they weren't allowed to move.
They got a binder with a camera.
They weren't allowed to move the serial numbers to the front either.
Well, they weren't supposed to, no,
but they
did anyway.
If they did, that's what
I don't think the other part's going to be binding either.
Well, again, that's it is what it is with the bullshit in the law, So, but I haven't got any notification that this is required yet. So, I don't know.
Logistically, for them to process them takes months to do NFA.
That'd be an interesting question to ask the ATF, like email them, Glenn, and say, is this, just trying to get my facts straight. Is this something that's required or is this suggested or, I would love from an FFL to ask the ATF why all of a sudden, and I would carbon copy in plain view, I'd carbon copy a congressman or a senator and saying, why exactly is the ATF changing the regulation and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to not be doing? I would love to hear a response from that.
No, I'd think from...
you aren't the only one.
Because since the ATF are the ones that issue your blank 4473s, all they have to do is just, it's a de facto requirement because, nope, yeah, we're not doing the 4473-A. It's now all going to be the 4473-Bs or whatever they're.
But if that dash B
on.
if that dash B is breaking the law, then it's not a valid form, anyways.
Neither is half of what any of the government bureaucracies do, but they still do.
Hey, Glenn Tech, Bassboy was asking you to explain the multi-sale thing again. You were talking about multi-sale, I guess, getting flagged for that or whatever. Basically.
Okay. So ATF requires anything of a multi-sale, which means two firearms in the same purchase. Now, it's a little bit different for California, Arizona, Texas, any border state. Any border state, it's an automatic two firearms, and it must be a multi-sale. Just about everywhere else, you can do a handgun and a rifle is fine, but 2 handguns or 2 rifles as an automatic multi-sale. What that does is they had this implemented saying that, okay, well, if you're buying 2 or 3 or 4 AR, quote unquote, AR-15s, that could be, especially in a border state, you could be nefariously, trying to, decide you're going to go on a mass shooting spree, or you're, running drugs, or another bullshit reason.
You're up to no good, and we want a reason to put our foot on your throat.
Yep, and what that does is that actually generates a secondary form for us when we do our 4473s. Now, either if you do it on a computer, it automatically generates it. If not, you have to do a hand form. But you're required to fill out the basic information of the 4473, basically their name, address. You don't have to do the whole 4473, but you got to do how many firearms they bought, the firearm and serial number.
Hey, Midnight.
Then where's that
when you do that?
Yeah, anyway.
What?
Mute when you drink and crush your ice. That was like a weird gurgle noise we got.
Sure, sorry.
Then where's that form go?
What's that?
Where's that form go?
So one goes to your local your Clio, so your sheriff's office, whoever your sheriff is, or your lead Clio, could go to the sheriff, could go to the local PD. It depends on who specifies what. In my case, it goes to the sheriff because he's the head Clio.
The Clio of the jurisdiction of the FFL, or the
FFL is.
Okay.
Yep, the jurisdiction of the FFL, and the other one goes to the ATF National Tracing Center in Virginia, and that goes into a database, and you get cross-referenced with other sales or potential sales that you have done, and so on and so forth, and the serial numbers get run and get put against other serial numbers, and if it was a lost or stolen, or if it was if it was sold somewhere else and then resold, and then so on and so forth. But so basically, a multi-sale.
Is the consumer notified of that? Because I've had several transfers that have had multiple at one time, and I've never been.
They are not
told.
You're on a list.
My FFL.
You're on a list.
Yep.
I was simply because it was
a lot of things, but
they had to have like a secondary. They had to do a physical form.
There's a lot of people that go on a list at Christmas time and stuff when they buy a couple guns for like the kids or things like that. So
yep,
it happens.
And like I said, border states are even worse.
Look, it's not my fault with the Canadians. All right, just let me go buy my two Norenkos and be on my merry way.
Exactly.
No, officer, this isn't maple syrup in my beard.
Criminal investigations, a lot of times the suspects have no idea, potential suspects, that they're being, looked at. So due to obviously not tip people off or to possibly ruin somebody's reputation.
You're right, Midnight. Crickets are very dangerous, especially when they're the noisy kind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rough. Let's see, what else? Looking on the gun feed earlier before the show, and the topic was not the topic, but the headline was I had a heart attack 3 times watching this guy handle a gun. And I was like, oh shit, let's see what this is. And it's from Twitter, which I don't have Twitter, so I can't look it up.
Is it Voda?
No. This is worse than Voda. And the responses are funny because it's only like a 40-second clip. But can you guys see it? Is it pretty?
He's pointing it at himself. Oh dear God! Think of the children.
Well, that's the thing. I saw this and I was like, okay, so the dude's whatever, they don't show the beginning of the clip, right? They don't show the beginning of the video. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to judge this guy yet, because so what? He's pointed himself. Maybe
I'll
he
judge
cleared
him.
it. He knows it's unloaded. Well, I've looked down the barrel of a gun before. You know what I mean? After I've checked that it's unloaded, I'm cleaning it or whatever, or doing something. I mean, I'm not going to judge him for it because we haven't seen the beginning of the video. Maybe he cleared it, whatever. But so you guys can't hear the sound, I know. So he goes and he's talking about the mags, and he's saying it's actually his wife's gun, but it's actually really comfortable, and especially if you put in the other mag, which has a pinky extender on it. But when he puts the other mag in, now when it's hard to, let me see if I can get it to fast.
Hold on.
Why you just expand it? See those two little arrows?
Yeah, but it gets grainy when you do that.
Yeah, but still good.
It's still better than the other way.
All right.
Yeah, it's better.
Oh yeah.
There you can see it. There's rounds in that mag.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I thought at first I was like, before I saw this actual frame here, you could just see the back, and I was like, well, maybe it's a snap cap, But then, I saw it. I had seen it, and I just saw it flash, before the show I was watching this, and that's actually a perfect. I can't believe I stopped it at like the perfect spot.
Neither can I.
So he puts it back in, finger on the trigger.
Yeah, hammer's down though.
Yeah, hammer's down. Yeah, right. Finger back on the trigger.
Yeah, because it's one of those little
points back at himself. Points it back at his face.
Yeah, he never even racked it though, so there's nothing to even chamber it at that point.
Right. Okay. I mean, I get it.
So,
but holy
it's
shit,
bad etiquette for sure. I wouldn't want them teaching my kids how to use guns. But,
yeah, holy shit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Jesus. Whether there's one in the chamber or not, it takes a special kind of person to throw a loaded mag into a gun and point it at their own face.
When can we judge him?
He's just very.
Do we get to judge him now?
And you can judge him.
Easy now, Sarge. Take a bite of fritter first.
When can we
really
judge
chew
him?
it.
When can we start judging?
Funny.
Yeah.
I know, I'm a real asshole, aren't I?
Unfunny.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You really jams that mag in there too.
And that's why we can't handle guns on a live feed.
Right. I couldn't believe he pointed it back at himself.
If this is recorded,
blew me away right there.
Yeah, if this was recorded, how could he upload it if he shot himself in the face?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of special. I thought that was an interesting kind of video. And it's not letting me.
It's like a Yankee chat in like 10 years.
Yankee chat. It's not letting me do anything with that now. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so the responses were funny because it was like, my lord, what an ignorant idiot this is, whatever. And it says, the next one says, oh, grow up. What's in that video is meaningless without knowing what came before. And your willingness to so readily condemn a gun owner for facts not in evidence and for something so tawdry as your own aggrandizement is childish. The world already has about 3 billion too many safety Nazis. Hey, you want to check it, unload it, check it, it's not loaded, and you want to look down the barrel of it? Fine, so be it. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be okay with you putting a loaded mag in the gun and pointing it back at your face. That's a little bit different.
Time of that video, his fingers in the trigger. I mean, the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's just.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
I don't care if it's unloaded or not. The trigger.
His finger was like.
I should have realized.
His finger is like 3 inches through the trigger guard. Look at that.
Oh
thing.
yeah, he's on
down
the
to-
first knuckle, man.
He's down to the second knuckle.
That's
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. He's a 2-knuckle shooter. Yeah, so I thought that video, I was like, wow, that I was all for giving the dude the benefit of the doubt until I saw him put that second mag in. I was like, oh, never
I
mind.
think his wife
He
needs
gets
to
no
give him a
benefit, all
safety
doubt.
class.
Yeah. Yeah, his wife might be owning all his guns pretty soon.
She's probably buying him more ammo.
Or at least life insurance.
Yeah, she's slipping around into the chamber.
Making sure that life insurance policy's paid up too.
Right on.
He's going around racking all his guns for him.
Pulling the hammer back.
What are you doing, honey? Oh,
Yeah.
nothing. Just checking.
All his 1911s are cocked, not locked.
Hey, Bob, are you doing any videos this afternoon? And all you hear is,
That's right. Here you go. Here's the props.
yeah.
Snap caps for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what's funny is the first time I watched that damn thing like 3 times to see like, is that really around in the chamber? And I was like, man, maybe it's a snap cap because my snap caps have the brass ends. Some of them are all plastic. I have the ones that they have the little spring in them and they're clear red, and then
Like
they have
the
the
Traditions
brass.
brand.
Fancy pants.
They're Tipton. They're like the Tipton ones or whatever. They're
Yeah,
not
they're,
the Tipton ones. They're like some of them are Tipton, some of them are Range Max through Bass Pro Shop, but they're made by the
Okay.
same company. You can tell. And I was like, well, maybe that's just the brass of like a snap cap. Maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And then just that one time, I the last time I watched it before I played it here, I was like, nope, that's a round. That's a round in the chamber. Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, LOL. Here, honey. Here, I got
Here,
your guns
honey.
all ready for your
Try
new
this.
video. Your video.
Yeah, try this.
Yeah.
Try this.
Look, Mom, no
She hands him the gun and starts packing up all her shit. I don't want to be here for this. Going to my sister's house.
Sign this document before you do your live feed.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be like what's her face's Carol Baskin's husband. If I ever disappear, this dude Will says, if I accidentally shoot myself in the face in a YouTube video, my wife
It's
gets
the
everything. Yeah, my loving wife gets everything. Her fingerprints are the only ones on the gun and the hammer and the ammo. Weird.
Z. She's painting the live rounds red.
Yeah.
These are snap caps. See, they're red. They're all red.
Got nail polish on them. Yeah. Yeah.
Honey, why are we plasti dipping red paint in our garage? Oh, don't worry about it, honey. It's for another project.
Did you ever? I don't know who makes them. I'll have to look up who makes them. But you guys ever heard of
Escort.
shotgun company called Escorts?
Never heard of it.
I've
It's a
seen
weird
them
name
on
for a
like
gun, but-
That'd be horrible on a credit card statement.
2 escorts,
Yeah.
honey? Really?
Just dispute it and don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
you
I only paid
disputed
$200.
$90,000.
Getting away with that.
$210 Escort.
I've seen them on, like gun raffles or like those calendars where, hey, we're giving away 3 guns a month. If you want in, it's $30. Yeah, they're kind of like more of the lower budget end.
Yeah, they're like
Firearms.
$210. I saw it and I was like, it's
Dude,
pretty
I'm telling
pretty
you,
nice looking
if
shotgun.
I'm a gun shop, I'm using that. I'm using that as a marketing. Pick up your escorts here.
Yeah.
You be
But what I thought was kind of
escorts
you're
and
probably
guns.
right.
I think they're like import models.
Too bad none of them will pass the check.
Yeah.
They're all fellas.
Well.
probably.
yeah.
I'm here for the escorts.
I thought it was interesting though. The stock looks like it has the one on the top looks like it has a shell holder in the stock where they sit horizontally like that. I thought that was pretty. different.
Could go the other way. Go.
Speed holes.
Yeah.
Speed holes that you don't even have to put in yourself.
Yeah.
That's for the running gunners. That's for 3 gunners. So it cuts down the air
resistance.
Aerodynamics of running and gunning. Yeah, the resistance on the running and gunning.
Yeah, when you throw it in that bucket, it rattles around less.
Yeah.
Hatsan, Hatsan, Hatsan Arms Company.
Do they have any kind of warranty or anything?
Hatsan Arms?
Who was that?
Gizzard.
Escort.
Was that Gizzard?
Whatever.
It was Gizzard.
That was Gizzard.
It was Gizzard.
Gizzard. He woke up from his Mexican rice coma.
Oh, those are air guns.
Those are air guns.
Those are not air guns.
Well, I mean, technically, every gun's an air gun.
Just like every engine is an air pump.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all it's doing is taking an air and
Hatsan USA. Whoa, look at this thing.
It's got that assault rifle grip on it.
Now, a guy that comments is asking, is an Escort Turkish made? I don't know. A lot of like the lower, I don't want to say lower end, some like lower end and some of the fancier shotguns are made in Turkey because that's kind of their, they make good shotguns there.
I think over half the shotguns in the world are made in Turkey, regardless of the brand.
Yeah, and then like a quarter of them are made in Japan, and the rest is between, I'd say probably about an eighth in Japan, and the rest is between Italy and the U.S.
Well, where's all the good American shotgun makers at? Come on, man.
You mean besides Mossberg and Maverick? Well, let's see. Winchester's out of business. Remington's about to be out of business. So we're really left with Moroku in Japan and, Beretta and Benelli.
Savage, Stevens.
Yeah, Savage still make actual shotguns that aren't just the slug rifles.
Well, I mean, Stevens still makes the 320. Stevens is owned by Savage. Yes, Stevens still makes the 3. They're still making 320s.
Is H&R not in business?
Nope, H&R went out of business years ago.
Oh, Remington bought them and then shut it down.
That sucks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
However, my shoulder is probably happy that I will never then be tempted to buy their 10-gauge turkey gun and cut it down to 18.5 inches.
Well, you better talk to
Escort's
Black Cat.
BM12 is a 12-gauge technically enhanced pump shotgun that utilizes a polymer pistol grip stock and detachable box magazine with a 5-shot capacity. That's only a 5-shot mag? Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
BM12 comes with a ghost ring rear sight, 3 rails, blah, 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 flash. It's got a little bird cage on the front there and some rails and all that kind of stuff. Pretty crazy looking shotgun.
Damn ghost.
A BM12.
Yeah.
That must be really shit, I tell you.
Hey, BM12, yeah.
I wonder if he can get an A2.
There aren't any. I'll have to go somewhere else. They don't have any prices on them at all. But we could go to
is the Escort
Extreme like
Ukrainian? Because they're pretty hot over there.
Preheat your oven to 350.
350, boy.
Jesus.
They're buying them and reselling them at a profit.
Over here on Buds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Buds over here, they have the tactical one, the one with the
$174.
Which means they probably spent $25 manufacturing that thing, literally.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Literally. 25.
This
Jesus Christ.
This one's 407.
I found the company's website. Let's see.
For the Escort?
Yes.
proud.
That's
He found the escort.
We're gonna read a news article
they said they'll send
this
one
guy
right
in
over.
Kansas who's got. Yeah,
They said they're
going to
send one right
this guy
over.
in Kansas who's
With
been researching escorts on his computer with guns.
Now you're up another list.
Gizzard called Uber, and they're going to Uber an escort right over to his house. Yeah.
With a fresh bowl of Mexican rice and some tacos.
And Gizzard transferred 2 cigs in 5 days, and now he's looking up escorts. You are on a list.
Get in the trunk.
Yeah.
Get in the trunk.
That's a fun list to be on.
It is.
He's got a
and
little
you would know
list.
that how.
You are so on that list.
List me, baby.
They're out of them. They had this one listed as $174 or $142. Damn.
Hot seller.
I wonder how that would be till that
There's
thing
no way
explodes.
$147 shotgun gets 5-star ratings. Just saying, no way.
Let's see what the ratings are.
11
I think
reviews.
you should buy one and destroy it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cut it in half with a saw.
Just shoot it till it falls apart.
Bitch.
Shot it once, did not
It shouldn't
explode in
take
my
long.
face. 5 stars.
Honey, watch this.
Oh shit! Okay, hold on.
Is this a boomerang? I think it was a boomerang.
That's the range. Fired some bird shot. Federal flight control.
Ghost ring sights on it.
Hold on here. Ghost ring sight for $12. I disassembled the ring part of the flat angle. Bluing, blah, blah. Fired 5 more slugs to find the left zero, and then JB welded to the receiver.
And he still gave it 4 stars.
With ghost ring sights.
Yeah.
He must have ran out of. He must have ran out of Gorilla Glue.
It does come with ghost ring sights, though.
Yeah, but it comes with its own tube of Gorilla Glue. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. There isn't anybody on here that doesn't say they don't love this son of a bitch.
Well,
Rob's purchase from goods.
Rob's got a
first purchase had a
They all
few
work for
issues,
escort.
feeding
Money
issues
can buy.
with. This guy's right here
Does
says
that
first,
come with?
had
Tony
few
M says,
feeding
guys.
issues, low brass filed and polished a little feed ramp, and he still gives it a 5-star thing. If you've got a few feeding issues in your first few shots, you don't give it a 5-star rating.
Gun
I'll
is
tell you what.
disassembled, but it's easy to
This
reassemble.
Tony M guy's on some pretty bad heroin or something.
Tony says, Tony M says, guys,
smoking.
this is as nice as my
Guy.
Benelli Nova. It's a steal.
Yeah, right.
Tony is the president and CEO of
Yeah,
Export
right.
Shotguns.
I think one down there said Edward F. I'm not even going to dispute this credit card charge.
You're right. All 90 of them.
It's so cheap. I don't even have to rip these guys up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Holy
here's the
shit.
two-star.
Look at that.
On.
What is that?
Uh-oh.
Here's the
Disclaimer.
real deal.
Dude,
I
who
see
would write
not
that
good.
much for $140 shotgun? Who would take the time to write all that?
Oh, 2 stars.
Please read all of it. Please.
Reading the return invoice from the warranty repair
I'll be right
center,
back. I'm going to
stated
go
that-
read the dictionary.
it stated what they did was fit locking blocking carrier, whatever that means, polished chamber, fired with 20 rounds of Federal and 5 rounds of Winchester. With that, I find it extremely hard to believe that whoever test fired the shotgun at the warranty repair center before shipping it back to me was even able to fire all 25 rounds without a single problem. I find it hard to believe, and if they did encounter the problem or so, I think they should have remedied the problem before shipping it back. So.
And they still gave it 2 stars.
He's claiming a lemon. It's a lemon.
Yeah.
Not a peach, mind you.
No.
Oh,
Daisy.
Who doesn't like the peach?
Peach.
5 stars.
Oh, this is it. This guy says he loves the shotgun. It's a higher quality than the Mossberg 500 and easier to load than the Remington 870.
It's a very solid thing. Yeah, I'm sure it's solid. It's as solid as a boat anchor.
That's funny. I wonder if the loading gate isn't, doesn't pinch your finger or something. 'Cause I know the 870.
Oh my god!
It's made out of.
It probably wouldn't even weigh that
It's
much.
so light. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's probably made out of half of the gun's probably made out of aluminum foil. So of course it's going to be light.
It's made out of conduit.
Paper
action is smoother than a Mossberg.
Copper, smoothbore copper pipe.
Well, it's smoother than a Mossberg because it's only got one action bar and it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, probably. So,
and the action bar is made out of wood. It's made out of hickory.
the paper towel roll barrel is really holding up great. You know what? That's what happened. They probably saved all their old the cardboard inserts from the tubes from their wrapping paper, their Christmas wrapping paper. Used those for the barrels and the magazine.
You mean that's
and
not
that
a
cut
thing?
down on cost and
That's
weight.
not a thing.
Yeah.
Hey, look! I saw it on that Utah show, I think was his name, and he made a shotgun barrel out of conduit, and it worked not too unbadly.
No, that's that same show where you get like 50 knives for $19.99 and you get a free shotgun.
No. You're thinking the Arkansasin. Arkansasin.
That's right.
I said the Utah, not the other guy.
Oh, did Midnight just click on that and buy it now?
He did.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Did.
Buy it now.
His credit card is John Smith.
Midnight spending money on a day that's supposed to be meant for you.
See, here's the thing.
No,
He's
it's
using a
after
credit
midnight.
card.
It's no longer
He's using a
Monday.
credit card that says.
Right.
He's using a credit card that says John Smith, not because he's trying to.
Oh,
fraud
just
anyone.
dispute
He
it.
just doesn't want anyone to know that he bought it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right. He's not trying to
I'm gonna
scam
send it to
anybody.
an-
He just doesn't want anybody to know.
That's right.
I'm going to send it to an FFL across the state where they don't know me.
I was gonna say,
You
why did
should
I get
show up
dinged?
with
Why did I get
Dude.
dinged that I'm getting something from John Smith?
Dude.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Travis, let's write a review right here and now. Just write it. We've never looked at it. We never held it. We never shot it. Let's write a review. Just
You know what? That's retail. I wonder what Glimtech could get it at, like wholesale.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you'd have to be able to get this thing for $75, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Actually pay
So
you.
if you can get it for
All day long,
$75 at wholesale,
Well, let's just put it this way: something like that, I don't even think any of our distributors would even consider even carrying.
It cost you more in shipping than the gun's worth.
Yeah.
It would. It would.
Do you want to insure this? No, not at all.
That way you can actually send it around. So you can actually send that $10.
Look at
You're good.
manufacturers. Armed Corps Century,
No,
Cricket, F, B, C, D, E, F.
I got
if
I got a
thing
forever
makes it past
stamp. That's
10
good
rounds,
enough.
I'm happy. I'm a return.
Oh, I
Dude,
can't.
You've got to.
I can't. I've never ordered anything from Buds. I don't have an account or anything.
Someone here.
They just won't let you check out as a guest.
We can make an account.
No, it won't let me leave a review. I can't
Trey
leave
at
a review.
ghostmexico.com.
No,
Edward
No,
F.
no,
Password
no.
1 2 3 4.
David
left of center.
Atkins, shooting left of center, gmail.com.
Oh,
Yeah,
do it.
it's David Marty Atkinson.
At Sasquatch.com.
Actually, it's at SasquatchSingles.net.
Okay, so is your password vertically challenged?
Yes.
Nope,
Yes.
didn't
Oh
take
my
it.
It's Justin Beaver 1999.
How did you know that?
Beaver Cleaver 77.
No, it's Nick Jonas is a god. Is my password. Nick Jonas.
No,
I had to change it. Had to update it.
I had it up.
It's who the hell is
after 6 months. Yeah.
It's who the hell is Weezer. That's the password.
Now what we got to do is we got to do this turn your guns into cash thing and tell them we got one of these things and we want to sell it. So they give us for it.
That's what you get for the gun buyback.
$10.
17
$10.
You could buy like a whole pallet of them and make $20.
Yeah. No, you take those to the gun buyback where they're going to give you a couple $100 for them.
That's right.
That's actually, that would be the best thing is to buy one of these used for $50 and smash it and take it in for $200. Get a Walmart gift card.
That's the money should buy one for $11.53.
It's their penny auction.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bid on that. Hold on. I got a couple pennies. I got pennies.
It says
I want a Ruger 5.56
bid now at $11.53. No time remaining.
I think if we all put in $1, we could get one. We could share it.
I'm thinking.
Share it.
I think
mail it to each other.
of them.
Pass it around like the escort.
I mean, why wouldn't?
Whoa, hey now.
Yeah, but unlike the escort, you might want to wash it off after a while.
You got to hose it down a little bit.
You got to flush it out. The little CLP, little break free.
Wow.
It's coming out of
I could definitely get one of them now. I could definitely get one.
If you have to put in an escort for a 90-day same as cash, you got issues,
Well, I think they only
You do
want
not
like
need to be a
10%
gun.
down. So I got $10.
$14. Woohoo!
For $14.
We got
Now
it.
I can pay in pennies, right?
Oh my god!
Okay, you're gonna take that. Start hitting up my Patreon out there, people. I need $14. We're gonna buy us a shotgun.
90 days, same as cash.
Buy us a shotty. Buy us a shotty.
Shotty for a hottie.
I would have so
Gimbers
much
for
fun.
Karen or
with
shotty
that
for a
thing. I
hottie?
would tie that up to the back of the truck and drag it down the road. I mean, I would have so much fun trying to destroy that thing.
I was gonna say that's
I'd like to
the
see
scary
somebody
part
do it.
is you'd want to shoot it. You'd want to treat it so bad just to see how long it would last.
Exactly.
But at the
Hey,
same
go.
time, like if you
I'll-
treat
I'll-
it bad at all, you gotta wonder it's gonna blow up in your face. Yeah.
Hey, I don't think you have to drag it in a way. You just probably shoot it a couple of times. It'll probably destroy itself.
Just send it
Look.
to Mac to review. He'll break it.
No. Don't be bothering Mac with this kind of stuff. If you want someone to completely and utterly destroy a gun, simply send it to ehonda@gmail.net.
And he'll do gunsmithing on it.
Oh my god.
Max saw that ad, started breathing heavy. Think about how bad he can mess that up.
Yeah, Honda will spend like $200 of government money on a $50 shotgun and make it look absolutely horrible.
It'd be like
The
a
thing about Mac is he wouldn't do a
ties the
1,000-round meltdown. He'd do a 10-round meltdown. And it'd be fine.
A 10-round meltdown.
Oh, it's not a meltdown. There's no way that thing can run fast enough to melt even ice cream.
You want to find out?
Why are you
Somebody
going
buy
to
it.
drop the $100 and some and ship it to me or my FFL?
I'm
buy it.
tempted to buy one just to see how bad the thing is, but
I think you can
Do
make
it.
your money
You
back.
do.
I think you can make your money back and add revenue.
Oh, I guarantee I could make it.
Do it.
I bet it wraps like a-
No
At least
stones.
have
no
fun.
doubt in
No
my
stones.
mind.
No stone.
Put your Venmo in the chat.
Think with Pro Grips now, how much will you pay? Might be a free Kinsu knife if you act now.
Put all Magpul furniture on it.
Ooh, there you go.
Excuse
That
me,
would be
sir.
a
I
fun
got
video to
this
make, though.
escort. Will the Remingberg 870 mole pearl 4-end fit on it? Okay, could I just use some duct tape and super glue?
Yes, you probably could.
Okay.
$300 laser light on the front.
Can I put one
I
of
mean,
them
why-
there
I mean,
red
why
dots
wouldn't you?
on this thing?
Now you think you think it says it's a 2 3/4, but I think that a 3.5 inch would fit, right? I mean, just take the Dremel to it and open that chamber up a bit.
Have to take a rubber mallet to get it in good, but I think it'd go.
Doesn't it have forward assist?
It's not Mag
That's
pull.
a
It's
deal
Mag.
killer for me. Just saying. That's a deal
Pull
killer.
furniture.
And you saw him a bit.
It's Mark pull.
Mark.
It's our nag pull.
Mark.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Know what we're buying.
Yeah.
Midnight is buying himself a shotgun, a $3 shotgun for $100.
Oh, Pink, we found an awesome shotty. If everybody in the chat chips in $5, I'll be able to buy the shotgun and ammo.
I got no super chat.
Now, Midnight or Ghost, whoever's doing this, since you're buying like this wonderful piece of not quite Chinesium grade firearms engineering, you need to find like the cheapest airsoft knockoff thing that's like, like the mag. These are the Magpool sites. This is the Track Star shell carrier.
Dude, I think this is the airsoft knockoff.
They're looking at the
chamber in there.
The Tacticool escort pump guns. You know, the kinds that are like 350, love you long time.
The fact that we're talking about a cheap escort, we're not referring to a woman, is funny to me. Just saying.
$5 super chat.
You can give her a woman's name if it makes you feel better.
That's right. I can call her Cinnamon. Call her Cinnamon.
And we can call it Gladys because Gladys was a real bitch.
Pink, here's what we're gonna get.
The $142.
It's over on the right. It's on the right.
$25 super chat. There you go. It's the Escort Aim Guard 12 gauge 18.
Ford
and it's
47.
And according to the reviews, it's as good as a Benelli Nova,
which I find very hard to believe.
Or a Chevy Nova.
So if we all,
I mean, they're or like a Stellar Nova. I mean, if it's anything like that, it'll light up.
A Chevy Nova at that point.
So if we all sent you a check for $6 like we did for those stickers and your grandma sent you for your birthday, you'd be able to get that?
Yeah, probably.
Naked grandma.
What? Look, you might be into gilfs. Not all of us here are into that, man.
Gilfs.
So Chinesium gray check.
It's Turkish.
No, I had 3-inch chamber. Now there you go.
Turkey's offended by that.
Now, see, when you buy this, the first thing you need to do is get yourself like some of those 3-inch super mag with like the triple out buck or the ounce and an eighth slug, and just go to town with it. I mean, if it's anything, like a Chevy, like my old Chevy Nova, the first time you fire it, it'll light up the sky.
Oh, that was a pussy wagon.
Now they'll run till they get hot, and then when they stall out, and you got to push them to get them going again.
That's what she said.
At that point, you just buy the automatic starter and say, "Here, go for it."
It's called a vibrator these days, Abe. Just saying.
Really, last time I checked, they're still marketing them as personal massagers.
There you go. Factory new. Hey,
I hope so.
It says manufacturer Howa. It says manufacturer Howa and Legacy.
I think that might just be
Howa
the importer. I don't know. Go over to the Howa, click Howa Legacy and see if it takes you over to their website.
It don't.
Oh.
He says it don't.
It don't.
It takes you to actual guns. It takes you to real guns.
I think that like Legacy might just be the importer.
Maybe
that's actually all they are. Because how is Is it Finnish or Japan?
Legacy is like my Howa 1500 is a Legacy series. It's got that Hogue stock one and stuff.
Humble brag. I got a Howa. Do you have a Howa? No.
I've shot a Howa.
Shit, I didn't pay for it.
That's right.
I was
'cause you
lucky
couldn't
enough to get it.
Did you steal it? $140.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
$142.
I might not have a Howa, but I've got a Howdah, and I know none of you have a Howdah, so there.
Isn't that
You got some chowder?
Isn't that one of them black powder pistol gun things?
Yeah, it's basically a sawn-off 20-gauge double barrel.
Yeah.
100 grains of
I didn't
powder.
realize it until today, and I saw that Howa is making 7.62 by 39 rifles, bolt action rifles. I didn't realize they were doing that.
Now you know.
Escort is made by Hatson. Yeah, they always
shotguns either, but apparently they are.
Escort's made by what, Hatfield, you said?
I thought they were made by
Hatson.
Ford.
It is.
Hatson.
Clover said, anybody ever seen the D-duplex slugs?
Does it mean they're like a 2-stage?
Are they like one looks like a regular slug and the other one's like a little truncated cone thing?
Duplex, deadly solid and expanding shotgun slugs.
There you go, right under the videos there. There's the
They make it go
doohickey.
boom.
Mm-hmm.
Boom goes the D-dupe. Oh yeah, these are those steel those are those hexlets.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, they're all steel.
I don't know.
We ought to see on Tough Later Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
There was a doctor on Dangerous Freedom show like a week ago. That's an ER doctor, did a lot of traumas and stuff. And he was stating how the rip rounds and things like that really weren't good at all. Your weight, they don't do the job in a person like you're supposed to because of the layers of the skin and how it'll actually kind of slide around and follow channels. It doesn't go as far as it should, basically.
Well,
like that. It looks good, but I don't know if it's
the
really
idea of what a slug's supposed to do.
Not really. I mean, you're still launching something. It's basically like a wax slug that, you don't have to cut the shell open and like pour wax in.
I understand the concept. I'm saying, what would you use? I mean, why would someone want to use a frangible slug? That doesn't make any sense.
For the same reason people want frangible rifle ammunition or frangible pistol ammunition.
I don't.
I said some.
But if I'm going to use a slug, then I'm not going to give a shit if it's frangible or not. I'm just
I want
saying.
mine to stay intact. Make a big hole.
Giggity.
And then kill little Johnny 2 houses down.
Exactly.
Lots of blood.
We drink your blood.
Yeah, this is the one that's Clover's talking about, the Hexalet 32, expanding steel slugs.
Gimme.
Giggity.
Can be yours for the low
Slug
price
weight.
of $2.50 a box. Or
495 grains, so it's pretty typical,
Light.
1 1/8 ounce. 1,400 feet per second.
So a little less speed than a regular slug.
I'm a little disappointed it's non-toxic steel. I kind of wish it was toxic.
Well, I'm pretty
Oh, yeah,
sure you
that's
can take the
bullshit.
slug out
Bunch
and
of
like
hippies.
plate it in zinc or something.
Damn
Work
dirty
for defense,
hippies.
but
And
more
their
hunting
non-toxic
ammo.
slugs.
Well, I don't know. It depends on whether you consider any man-made polymers to be toxic or not.
I'm glad you shot me with a
I think it matters if you're getting
non-toxic
shot with
slug.
it.
Right.
I mean, I've got like a fist-sized hole in my back, but thank you.
Thank you for not being toxic, Cam.
Look at the size of that deer. Holy shit. Look at that rack.
Giggity.
Damn.
Read under the picture. Whitetail taken by who? What? Yusuf Lee?
Are you talking about this picture?
I don't know what
large entrance holes and massive blood tracks, family. So unique combination. Stopping impact with 6 splinters.
That's pretty dangerous looking. I don't dig that.
Powerful shockwave that starts. Look, you're hitting something with an ounce of whatever at over 1,000 feet per second. It's going to disrupt something.
Mm-hmm. Anybody can write anything on a web page.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
I can't spell.
But it's all true. It's nothing's made up.
Play the video.
Get demonetized.
Play the video.
He's not already.
Which one?
Right.
Which one? Left or right?
Right there. The right one. The little
left
skeleton.
Both.
The one you didn't play. Yeah.
You can play them both at the same time.
Ooh, that was.
That's true. We could.
Oh, look at this!
Why doesn't that deer move?
Blam! Blowy.
Why didn't he move?
Oh.
Yeah, it slows. That's going
He's
in.
shooting
Time to get out of the way.
It's for 45 ARP.
The animal has to
did that deer not see the camera set up and everything?
Oh, that's an elk.
He's drunk. The deer's wasted.
Look, dude,
he's drunk.
hey, Moo, don't you judge. It was a rough rutting season. His main squeeze ran away with a buck with a smaller rack than his, and he was just like, no, I just need to end it. Here, do it.
You're speaking my language,
man.
What, your favorite doe ran away with a what?
Doe.
A deer. A Bud Light deer.
That was terrible. Let's see the skeleton one.
Yeah, that was bad.
Seems like you'd be, putting
next generation hunting ammunition.
Impact. Into the guts. Right in the guts.
Splinters reach vital organs even with bad. I'd say you can. It would still make its way into the body cavity. Shit. It's badass.
If I shot a deer in the guts like that, I just go home.
All right, there's one more video. Come on, you already did two of the three.
You would say, screw this, I'm dying.
Like, no, screw. It's just like an X-ray analysis of wild boar. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Soviet Russia. We
gun snob.
See, that photo on the right is all that's left after he shot that deer. It's just the head. He blew the body right off of it.
I think he even got to take it
He
to the butcher.
disintegrated the rest of it.
Oh, look at them scatter. He shot them all.
Oh. And when he shot it, it was a spike horn, and all those fragments came up. Oh, sling it.
Gun snob. I'm blastified, that son of a bitch.
We're going to have ourselves some bacon tonight.
He shot a suckling pig.
Baby pig.
Now he's got like 12 pieces.
Now he hauls this pig into the ER.
That baby still He's still got milk on his lips.
He died from COVID.
I'll tell you what. Now,
No,
if you put a little
it was not
barbecue sauce
COVID.
inside there-
You can clearly see on the X-ray here, it was rectal blockage. He didn't have enough fiber in his diet. He got bound up and he just died.
Oh, he's got tuberculosis.
I always thought with dragon breath, might as well cook it and eat it before I go home. Now, pink, when I do that, I found that it leaves too much of a metallic taste. What herbs and spices do you mix in with magnesium to kind of help take the edge off?
Salt.
Parsley.
Paprika.
I use parsley.
Yeah, that is nasty
I
shit,
prefer I prefer the smoked paprika.
I wonder how much each one of those petals weighs.
That's a clay block they shoot because it gives
It
you
used to be a chunk of clay. Yeah.
I think, like Clover was saying, or someone said on here, I think Talflater Mouse has done video on it.
Looks like he's trying to.
I don't know. I use Hornady SST Sabo, my 12 gauge.
I'm gonna go
And it
gather
does
up
a
a whole bunch of my kids' Play-Doh and do one of those, shoot one of those 12 gauge slugs into it. I'll be famous.
Get it,
Well,
you get it all out of the barber shop.
Dad,
Play-Doh.
have you seen my Play-Doh?
yeah, I need it. Now go away.
Put a hole in it, son.
Give me a damn Play-Doh. I'm mixing it all together.
Daddy,
I'm
why
gonna
is
be
Daddy
famous.
putting a hole in the Play-Doh? I don't
Be
know,
famous.
son, but I think he wants a divorce.
Why is his hands above his head?
I'd like to know how much each one of those pedals weighs. They looked a lot. They looked a lot bigger than in that picture when they showed them. They looked a lot bigger than they look there. They look pretty thick, actually.
They don't say on the suitable for smooth smoothing.
Nah, doesn't say.
And I'll scroll over to the right on that chart. See if it does like a fragment. No, okay, never mind.
Not.
These are vital information. This is vital information for everyday life. We must know how much each of these pedals weigh and what the tolerance
42.
of said pedals are. Well, 42 what? 42 kilometers, 42 decagrams, 42 ounces troy?
Yes.
Kilometers?
What are you talking about?
Are we talking? Are we talking? You said 42. Are we talking like a Colt 45 or a Bankers
Dude,
Club?
I think what you're talking
Screw
about
kilometers.
is
We're
completely
killing
different than what
pigs.
we're talking about.
Kill 'em pigs. It works like this on that T1000 too, and you blast them with it.
Whitetail taken by yourself, Levy.
Yourself, Levy.
Levy yourself out of this picture.
Leave yourself alone. God, Jesus Christ! Every time you do that.
That is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
That's a
8,
5
9,
point.
10, 11, 12, 17.
Careful
That's
now.
bullshit.
Midnight's
That's
counting
better.
higher than he's ever counted before.
It's like a 30. It's like a 32, 35 point buck.
He had to
That's
take
like a
his
35.
That 30-point buck.
It's a 50-point buck. My Chevy took a shit.
Rusted
Well,
smoke. The heaters broke.
The door just blew away.
Weird.
Weird
Weird shit.
See the dash. Then I start to pray. Frame is bent.
Because there's that one. What's the difference between the red and the yellow? I wonder.
One's red and one's yellow.
I think one was 2
yeah.
3/4, and the other one might have been a 3 inch.
One
I'll
is
go back.
stop,
It had one is stop and one is caution. Yeah, so they got the green
and the
for
green
go,
is go.
and the
You
blue
should start
for,
that.
and a blue because they feel pretty.
I'm so pretty.
These oh wait, sorry, wrong.
Oh, so
Nice
pretty.
pig. Oh, that's a guy.
Mm. I like how they call it caviar. That's cool.
So it tastes like shit and is horribly overpriced.
Wowie.
Just like the escorts.
Kapow. Well, not really. I mean, if you catch
You
them on
go
the right
from cheap
day,
escorts
like
to caviar
like
slugs.
a Monday.
What about the escort shooting these slugs?
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Now we're talking. The only thing is, if you had a $200 budget, you could buy the shotgun and probably two of these rounds. That's it.
that's
And a
all
watermelon.
you
Make 'em
make
count.
it through that though.
What do you mean buying no
you know,
watermelon? You
yeah.
don't buy no watermelon. You go in the ditch and pick one.
Don't miss.
I can steal a watermelon.
They grow in
Yeah,
the
you're
ditch.
big enough. I think you can hide it.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah. Pew.
Poof, was that Gary?
I tell you what, it really beat the hell out of that water bottle. I don't know that water
I'll tell you
bottle.
what, it is pretty crazy. It's not going through there though.
I don't
It's
know.
dumping all its energy into that first water jug.
Had the was it a demo Demo Ranch before he became as big a dick as he was or is.
Douchebag.
Yeah. Yeah, he was doing like all those weird wax slugs and filling to try and find something that wouldn't go
What's
through
wrong with
drywall.
Demo Ranch, dude? Demo Ranch is awesome. What the hell's wrong with you?
No, he cuts open animals. He doesn't like kids. I mean, granted, I can understand not liking kids, but
Ghost. throw that lure out there and reel it in.
He don't like kids. He's got an actual Humvee when I can't even afford the deuce and a half my car dealership has.
Douche and a half. Who's you talking about? Who's the douche and a half?
Pew 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 pew.
Just make the noises for him.
Pew pew pew.
I'm surprised it took this long for this thing to go this downhill.
Well, considering where it started, it wasn't too hard.
This guy looks like the face on this guy looks like they took the picture right after they caught him touching that pig inappropriately. He's like, "Oh shit!" What?
Well,
remember,
now, I think, aren't these? I think these slugs are from like Russia, aren't they?
That's actually a tiny hand on that on that pig.
That's Barnes. Barnes makes some of those weird rounds. I think.
What's wrong with
Barnes is a US
Yeah, they got a little tiny pig hands. They got a...
It looks like a fake hand.
No, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
it's
not
a little
Barnes,
tiny hand.
Barnall. Barnall. Yeah.
That's like my fishing picture I took a couple years
If it
ago.
was Russia, it's like we have KGB man as camera. Camera might shoot
That's
you.
only.
Do not
That's actually only a 5-pound pig.
Yeah.
He's got his index finger in there.
It's clearly a tiny hand.
clearly
Yeah.
a large.
What happened to the dude's thumb?
What I didn't need it anymore.
Molding.
March 2017.
This was hot shit 3 years ago.
Hot shit.
So
look at this
bullshit.
guy with. Yeah, look at these guys. How do you? There's not letting me see anything here. What the hell's going on?
Left, right, left to right. It
looks like
arrow key.
You
Yeah,
can
it's like giving me.
view photos and see what that does.
It
Click
looks
what?
like the
You can
The
click
step-
the
Oh,
button
there it
that
is.
says view photos and see what that does. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like, this was definitely 2017.
How can you tell?
So 20.
Step Brothers. Research and development. Computers. Boats and homes.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want those.
See,
I want
see
those.
now there's an actual scale size of those rounds.
Yeah, that's they get that.
The negative 72 gauge.
Oh man,
Jesus Christ.
They've been around a lot longer than that. The case that I have is probably a decade ago.
This dude just
They
farted.
blew,
So you
they
went
blew their
over-
whole budget on that display.
that's a great picture. I'm glad they put that on the website. That's phenomenal.
There we go.
Before, after.
Tactical beard.
Is that Clover in the
Talon-
background?
The Talon Sai?
They're
You
ET.
should go back and show that picture that Ghost said was Clover.
Uh-oh. Come on, Clover. Clover's still watching.
Where at?
Back when you were looking at that, the
1985.
all with the ARs at the first Camp Perry or whatever it was.
Hey, I got a picture of a tiny hand.
Clover was in the picture with
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt and all those guys.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like more impressive mustache Sarge.
I still have that here. I can.
Clover, you still out there?
Oh, he's out there.
Clover, we found a picture of it. Maybe it's back in the day, but we're pretty.
I didn't know
Ghost
that he was
says
friends with Dale Earnhardt and them. Man, it's impressive.
So yeah, we found this. I found this cool article about guys shooting matches with ARs way back in the day, in like '88, first time they ever did that. And I found this awesome picture, and it's it's you, and right there.
Oh Jesus Christ!
But
Yeah, go back to the
here's General. This is back in the day, so it's General Mad Dog Mattis and Dale Earnhardt, Bill Dance, and C4 Defense. And then you were down here. I don't know what you did to your wrist, but
yeah, what you do to piss off our
yeah, obviously got a hold of some
on your arm there, bud.
Trying to pull down his shirt, sprained his wrist.
No, I don't think he sprained it trying to pull down his shirt. He was trying to pull his pants up far enough to get that jacket.
Oh my god!
Got shot the baby gap. that's what
Batman in a little coat.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to be that dude for Halloween. Ghost, I'm going to need a T-shirt from you, okay?
You got it. I'll send you one.
Now, Midnight, the real question is, can you grow out your stash and your mullet in time?
Looks like Joe Exotic's fat brother.
Or maybe like one of his mother's dads? No, wait, one of
Dude is
his
very unimpressed. That dude is very unimpressed. And then down here, he's like, I'm just smoking. Screw it. No,
I just grabbed a shirt out of the bin on my way to the show.
Let's party.
I'm a little.
Who's here to party?
I'm a little bloated.
Someone said there's an escort here. I'm here for the escort.
$142.
$142.
Sorry, you're 40 years too early there, buddy.
Cash up front.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's 90 days, same as cash.
I was going to say, it looks like Tiger King.
Find it.
Tell you what,
Finance 100.
if I've ever seen a group of people that looks like a bunch of gun guys.
That's it right there.
Well, you got to dress for success. If you look like you're successful, maybe. IWA, what is International Weapons Association?
That's over in Germany.
Oh, yeah, it's like their version of
that. German SHOT Show.
It's the one that Mac said that he'd rather go to than SHOT Show because he was tired of regular SHOT Show, I think.
Wanted a German SHOT Show.
It's usually in like April.
Kaiser shot.
Seems like every time you guys go to SHOT Show, you guys end up coming back sick.
It's the damn Rona.
Well, yeah, you didn't know that's like a prerequisite. My Corona. Oh,
can I quote you on that?
Sure, Corona. What? Cooler attack. I need an X-Men shirt at C4 Defense. I'm making it go buy one now. Good. Go spur the economy.
They should probably do some updated photos.
Whoa. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Probably. Sorry.
So if you have Corona and get bit by a tick, are you Corona with Lyme at that point?
That's true. Yeah, could be. I see what you did there. I like that.
Yeah, you like
That's
that?
almost as funny as Cinco de Mayo falling on Taco Tuesday but being canceled due to a virus named after a Mexican beer.
But that's real, though. That actually happened.
It is. That's why it's funny. The more you know.
There you go.
Perfect.
Sarge to the rescue.
Well done, sir.
Yeah.
Well done.
And on that note, I'm bailing out of here, folks.
What?
See ya.
See you later, guys. Give him the bird.
Later, Clucker.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
What did it say?
Yes, so distort what? Who's what?
What did you just say?
I don't know. What'd you just say?
What?
What?
What the fuck just happened?
Is this Abbott and
You guys
Costello?
keep saying what back and forth.
It's Abbott and Costello.
What?
What? Who? Where am I?
What's on second? What's
Waffles,
on
please. Mute, David. How many times have we told you if you're going to get frisky with the wife, please mute?
Whoa.
Stand by.
Stand
Okay,
by,
okay, I'm done.
by.
Here's what I'm.
You still haven't gotten that up yet?
Here's what I want to. Here's what I want to get. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it, but this is what I've decided I want to get eventually.
Ooh, I've got one of those.
Oh,
10 and a
by
half.
the way, Midnight, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, because if you had to go buy a 300 blackout upper.
Oh, good. Send it to me.
I got that 10 and a half right there with my snowflake lower on it.
Son of a bitch.
Well, now Midnight can't
That's
do
what I
that.
have.
Midnight's going to have to go to the
Son
12
of a
inch
bitch.
or the 7.
They have an 11.5. Do that.
What are you gonna? Are we gonna do
Yeah,
tummy
that's what I
sticks?
want to get.
Yeah, go for that one.
I will lose. I don't want to lose.
Mine was
Beat Saber.
I think I got through
That's
mine.
that's what I want to get eventually.
I didn't pay $400 for mine.
You know what else too? I'll
That's
tell
what
you
you
what.
challenge- that's what you
If
challenge the
anybody's
charge.
looking for, if anybody is looking for a red dot, I saw they had these. I was talking to old Glimtech about this shit. This is a killer price. $100 for the Romeo MSR.
Really?
Can't
So
beat
those
that.
like decent sites, or they like looking through a soda straw?
No, the Romeos are the MSR's pretty good. For $100, that's a really good price.
Yeah.
What's
Man,
the
that-
diameter?
MSRs
Oh,
aren't there for
it's a
20 millimeter.
it was a little small.
What's
but-
nice is it's got, yeah, but I would want something small because I want it to be, I want to be able to have it in the truck and stuff. But the it's nice because it has the flip up caps, but they're see through also, so you could see through them if you had to with them down. You know what I mean? Which is kind of cool, but they're there to protect the lenses anyway. It's pretty nice, man. I really like it. I definitely. I mean, I'm a huge Vortex fan. I really like Vortex, but for $100. And then to have the see-through caps like that.
Does it have an auto shut off?
No, I think it's
I don't
got a
think
dial.
Yeah, that'd be the only
I
problem.
don't know if that's a dial or shake awake.
I got the
I don't think
Romeo
it's shake
5.
awake.
No, it's not
Scrolling
shake
up and
awake.
down, and scroll down to the bottom and see if what it says for.
But the battery life is like a fucking million years. It's 20,000 hours for the
Yeah.
battery life. So
Yeah,
what the
but
hell?
is that
man?
on?
10
20
daytime and 2 nighttime, 2 night
Yeah.
versions.
Yeah, but does it say on what
CR
setting though?
1632.
Yeah.
Because like my
Well, they're going to give it the lowest
Oh, yeah, night vision.
in the setting. That's how they're going to do it.
Even if
Usually
it's,
on
I mean,
6 or 7.
but even if you would do, like, okay, that's 20,000. Even if you would do 5,000 hours,
6 months.
it's still 208 days. So even if you change the battery once every 6 months and never turn the damn thing off, which I wouldn't do, I would turn it off, but I could see people leaving it on for long periods of time and it's still lasting a year or two.
Nice part
I don't
about
know.
those-
I
nice part about those covers is if you could keep them down like it was really bright out, that cuts down any
Yes, it
glare you
does.
get.
That's what the covers are great for, especially
And
see
you can still
yeah.
see.
Yep.
Yep. You still see excellent through it.
That
Did
way
somebody-
you can keep the brightness down with those covers on, so you don't have to turn them up if it's real bright outside.
Free shipping.
Somebody woke up Honda.
I think
Ugh.
Honda just came out of his
Ugh.
weed
I
and
hope not.
alcohol-induced trance.
Don't be a weed hater.
I'm not, but look, if you're
The only thing
on YouTube taking $2 super chats for each toke, I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, I missed that one.
The only thing I don't love about it is I think the minimalist, like skeletonized mounts look kind of cool, but I feel like I would like something stronger. You know what I mean? Like it would be nice if it was a little beefier. I mean,
well,
I don't know.
there you
It's not
go.
like you're
Just
slamming it around,
now, Sarge, you need to wait until after I said, well, all you have to do is just give it a sip of diet beef soda every day.
but yeah, you go plump it up a little bit.
Get some meat
I
on
don't
its
think that
bowl.
looks bad for $100.
Fuck no, for $100, I think that's
$100,
probably the best.
Yeah.
Probably the best. That's the best deal out there, I think. So you guys can buy me one of those and that upper, and
did
that'll
see
be
a
awesome.
Romeo.
Well,
Honda
hold
for
on. Now we're buying you an
$129 a couple
upper
days ago.
and a red dot and an escort? No. It's one
No,
or the
you
other.
can have the escort. I don't need the escort.
I don't want no
Escort,
sloppy
I don't
second
want.
escorts, regardless of how much
Mm,
force
yeah.
cover you used.
Oh, you can put
I'm
that.
fine. I don't
you can
want
put that red dot
it could
on
be
your
tough, man.
escort.
Ford Escort.
Oh yeah, 4-door, 4-speed.
82 model.
Yeah, nice.
It goes faster in reverse.
I know a guy
Beige.
that got a real old one of those. I think it was like an 80 something, I think.
Faster than the speed of smell.
It's not beige, it's champagne.
Same
Guy
color
from,
as
like,
obnoxious
close to
as
the
SAR.
dealership. He got this car for $500. It was like showroom, but it was like an 80 something Escort. It was something.
This
It
is
looked
the
like
finest-
a brand new car.
Oh, scroll back down. What was that first?
It ripped donuts and
That first comment says this
Go
is
ahead.
the finest Chinesium with a side of what?
I don't know. So
No,
Ghost, I'm gonna need you to get a hold of Sig. I need you to get one of these for free. Do an unboxing video and then send it to me. All right?
I'm on it.
Okay, thanks.
Or, just find it, or just find out where Honda hid the Gun Channel's credit card.
I think it's probably been canceled.
Well, he keeps ordering these guns
All
and
these
other
guns.
stuff under assumed names.
It disputes the charges.
Edward F.
Yeah.
Let's see. My name is
Or K, or
Jad.
whatever it is.
First
K.
name is Jad. Middle name is I. Last name is Gray.
Huh?
Huh?
I'm not very smart. You have to explain that one to me.
Well, I asked Honda about his little phone call he made on what was it, Saturday night.
I don't
What happened?
I
I-
want to find out what Honda's phone call was like on Saturday night. That doesn't sound like fun at all.
Yeah.
What are you
I want
wearing?
nothing to do with it.
What time you get out of work?
Khakis.
Cat.
Have anything
She
to do
sounds
with a $142 shotgun?
She sounds ugly. Well, she's a he.
You guys got any fries when you get out of
He's
work?
a guy, so
What a Chad. That
Chad.
shit was funny. Yeah, it's so funny, Honda, that you had to take it down and tell Matt, "Oh, don't worry, bro. I figured out how to take Jedi's real name out of the stream when I let his voicemail play." That is not fun.
Yeah, midnight.
Hmm?
So my 300 I picked up through Bear Creek Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 10.5-inch Parkerized heavy barrel, 1/8 twist, with a side charger.
Yeah, I saw that.
Side,
Yeah, I was
Hey.
looking
side
at that.
chargers. Yeah.
Hey, Glimtech. I bought side charger. I bought a side charger 450 from Bear Creek, and I haven't shot it yet.
Yeah.
And I cycled some ammo through it, and it's like it really messes up the brass on the cartridges.
Does it really?
Yeah, have you seen that?
I've never had a side charger AR style anything, so
yeah,
this is my first one.
I'm looking forward to it. I got a whole bucket of ammo.
I don't reload it. I don't reload it anyway, so I
my buddy reload. I just
once after I shoot it.
Yeah, I give him my brass. I got a brass catcher. I just give it to him. But yeah, it seems to be pretty quality. You know, with Bear Creek. I don't know what your experience is with the Bear Creek.
I don't know. This is my first one for Bear Creek. Everything else has been PSA.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Yeah.
I tried something. I tried something different this time.
Yeah. See,
This stuff looks nice. I mean,
Travis has had some pretty good luck with it. He had that one problem, sent it back. It was with the gas block, and it seemed to be okay.
Yeah. Robert from New Hampshire is happy.
Edie.
Wasn't he the same guy that says that his works that the Escort's better than his Benelli?
With the Escort? Yeah, it's the same guy.
His name was Robert. This guy's making the rounds, man.
Hey, I got a couple of these. I got a couple of these Bear Creek patches. I could sell them. They were $6 a piece.
You can go buy your Escort.
I'll give you $1.
There you go.
Divide that up. Sell 50 pictures of something at $6 a piece, and you'll have the money.
There you go.
Like, do some handwritten pictures in crayon, and you could sell them, guaranteed.
hand drawn pictures in crayon signed.
Yes.
There you go.
Signed in crayon.
I'll buy one right now for $10.
Look at that pink one. I think I want to get that pink one for my daughter.
So this is the one you got.
Go ahead,
it was a two something. Hang on a second. Let me zoom in on you a minute.
224, 225.
Yeah, 225. Yeah, yep.
Whatever
Yeah, 10.5
yeah.
inch. Yeah, pistol gasoline. Yep, side charger. Yep.
Side charger is kind of cool because you get that scope right back where you want it. You know, if you're shooting. You know, with mine, I got the 18-inch 450 for deer hunting, so I can get that scope back with the eye relief where I need it, so I don't have to mess around with the the charging handle on the regular.
That one's going to be a pistol. I already have the pistol kit on the way for it.
So
that's going to be.
So you don't have to
that's
worry about
actually going to
that.
be a truck gun. Yeah, I'm
Nice.
actually going to put my. I have a Neotech 512 that I got from PSA when it was on sale a month ago. So I'm going to take the 512 and I'm going to put the 512 on that. So that'll be the truck gun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did see that. The charging handle, you got to put a little Loctite on that because it'll come unscrewed on the side charger.
Yeah.
What is a split rail? M-Lock split rail. What does it mean when they say split rail M-Lock?
It's M-Lock, and the rail is split.
Oh, shit. Thanks. Only a fucking cop would say that.
Did you say cock or cop?
Yes.
Cop.
Either.
They're interchangeable at sometimes.
That's what he gets for interrupting me in Glimtech conversation. That looks like a split rail.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking. The only thing that's nicer with the Palmettos is the bolts are made of a better
What, did you
steel
swallow the microphone?
than the Bear.
He did. He just ate it.
Yes, I did.
Next gen did. He turned his head.
Yeah. It was good. It was delicious. No, I was actually
sounds like
sliding the mic around. I was sliding my mic around.
No need
Mic
to.
on the neck goes round and round.
No need to explain.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I never used any of their stuff or their ball carrier groups.
So,
No clue.
real quick, how long has
Yeah.
Obnoxious One been asleep for? Just saying.
Quite some time.
Hours.
Sure. Yeah.
Days
I
and
thought he
days.
was dead like an hour ago. That
How
was
can
like
you
me
tell?
last week.
Who's objectionable one out in the chat?
Would you say, Travis?
Objectionable one.
Who's objectionable one
Oh,
out in
no
the chat?
stones.
No stones?
Yeah.
Oh. He's probably laying back, drinking Cavassier, rubbing his belly.
Petting
licking
his water features.
Licking that picture earlier with the guy with the arm sling.
Playing with his case of guns.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Ordered 5 escort shotguns.
You better
Stuff
be
it in
ready
his
when the
mailbox.
fly goes by. Honda, is that a new code for what you and Jedi worked out as an apology? Fly go by?
Was Jedi pissed at Honda?
Come along for the ride on a fantastic voyage. Oh, that's nice. Apparently Honda is moving in with Jedi in his big rig, so there we go.
Oh yeah,
That's nice.
A little sleeper action.
I mean, you might be able to. I don't know. Would the savings in having to run the diesel for keeping it warm be offset by the extra weight that he has to truck around?
Damn, it's 1 o'clock. All right, homies, I'm out. I'm going to bed.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to close it down myself. I'm falling asleep myself.
Have a good night, Ghost.
There it goes.
Night, Ghost.
See you, buddy.
He's already gone.
He's gone. Boy, he's gone.
2 guys in my PT group lost their car accident. Wow.
No offense, Seven Wonders, but
Big flugaloo.
But I'm beginning to think that you might be bad luck.
Who?
Just saying. 7. He's bad luck. I mean, first his wife wants to kill him, now she doesn't.
Objanako Balekas one says, man.
Wife wants to kill him. That's not good.
Hey, Midnight, did you get my email?
Coolio.
My new gun.
I can look.
Don't stress yourself.
Browning, semi-auto, rimfire. Pew, pew, pew. Little pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew,
Yeah,
pew,
a little buck mark.
Little butt mark. Better wipe better.
Butt mark. Oh yeah, I said it earlier. I was asking Clover about it because he's a rimfire expert, and the fucker never responded.
Yeah, and that's odd because he's Mr. Buckmark. He swears by him up and down, left and right and center, and slightly diagonal at times too.
But it was $239, man. I couldn't.
So is that
Speaking
like
of rim jobs?
Yeah.
Speaking of rim job, Hank Strange is here.
How can you read lines from a Coolio song from the 90s and not recognize it as such?
Because making fun of you and your non-existent relationship between Jedi is more of an asshole thing for me to do.
That's what I want to know.
Wait, what? Sorry, I had 2 things playing. It was like,
no,
forgot to close that YouTube window. I suck.
A likely story.
Something about making fun of people.
Well, if you consider yourself people.
See, it's a dehumanization right there.
I'm listening but not watching the chat. Oh, all right. Clover's listening to you. Tell him.
I bought a 4-inch buck mark from.
You got a 4-inch butt mark? You should change your underwear.
You're focused on the butt, Mark.
He had a rough weekend.
A Browning buck mark.
You had a
Nonetheless.
rough weekend.
Oh, obnoxious.
Did you hit a deer on the way home?
That would suck. I don't know, I've never
You
hit
all
a deer.
suck.
The neighborhood that I grew up in has like 1 million deer because there's laws against shooting deer in that area, and people like feed them in the backyard. So if you're not careful, you'll hit a deer. But I'm one of the fortunate ones who's never experienced
Me.
deer
You
attack.
and me. I ain't no fortunate one. So Clover heard
Seven
buck mark
wonders,
and
Jesus.
simply said, "Wise choice." And yeah, I know, I like you, Mo.
So what have you guys been talking about tonight? Anything fun and exciting? I missed most of the chat. I'm sorry.
Fucking nonsense. We
Shenanigans.
bullshitted about some stuff. We talked about a really gnarly, crazy article where a dude kept ordering guns, and then probably under a false name, ordered them and paid for them, and then picked them up with his own name,
Right.
and did that like a bunch of times, and then he disputed the charges and had the charges taken away from the credit card company because he used a credit card.
That sounds kind of
Yeah, you should go back and listen to
Sounds
that.
kinda
That was
fraudulent.
pretty
A lot of talk about escorts.
Yeah, about cheap escorts and whether or not you should use more
Kinda.
stuff on them or not.
I did see this. It was a strip club that was closed
always.
down, and instead of closing down, they opened up a car wash, and they just had strippers washing cars. It's like genius. Social distancing. You get your car clean. Strippers still make money. We're good.
Yeah, that's in Sarge's precinct. He's doing it.
Oh yeah.
Is what?
Did you get your car washed there, Sarge?
Do what?
The stripper car wash.
Oh no.
He's overseeing that. He supervises that.
You're like keeping the peace is what you're doing over there.
Working at the car wash.
Now, how do they do like the back room in that in the car wash there?
It's the back
private room?
seat. Back seat. Pretty easy.
Yeah, but that's not social distance. I mean, even the biggest of the big Cadillacs in the 60s, I don't think that, or 60s and 70s, I don't think you were quite 6 feet apart.
I think there's an extra charge involved.
Well, there's always an extra charge. You pay for it one way or the other.
Yeah, I try not to.
Well, you got 2 kids, so you paid for it.
I paid for that one.
Ouch.
Just roll down the window and slap a condom on.
On the window?
Or just get married, because once you say I do, that means you don't.
Yeah.
I don't have any advice on that. Besides,
Sorry.
keep a separate bank account that she doesn't know about, and make sure you got at least a couple grand in there, just in case. That's good, solid advice. Because then if it ever goes down and she's not one of those succubi. What's the plural of succubus?
Succubi.
So she's not one of those succubi. Then like some emergency happens and you have like $2-3 grand to fix the problem, like a hero she didn't even know about. Like, how'd you get that? Don't worry about it. I sold some stuff for all she knows. And now you're a hero because you're giving up the things that you love for her. Or she ends up being a succubus, in which case you're not like out on the street because she emptied your bank account because she couldn't close it without you, but she took it down to the minimum balance and then left and opened up a new bank account with her and her new boyfriend or whatever.
Uh-oh, Black Cat's up. Suck you what?
Suck a bus. Suck a taxi. Whatever.
Suck
a bus? Sounds like what Seven did when he hit that when he was 18. He ended up sucking a bus.
Ouch.
I don't think so. Those things are heavy.
All right.
Your reference as to me using the gunchannels.com credit card to buy guns with under someone else's name and picking them up myself? Because I didn't understand that joke in context, but now I do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of the funny of it.
And it wasn't really that funny, even in context. See, that
says
I'm winding down.
59 Bel Air, I could hide dead hookers in the trunk. Well, Pink, they're not
Yeah, how
any
do you
fun
test
after they're
that?
dead.
Good for you. Could. Not
Now-
did. There's a big difference.
Now, Pink, was that like whole stacking them like cordwood, or did you have to like kind of Tetris and dismember a few to get it fit in there? So I mean, if you did it without having to chop up the body, that's a lot more interesting than, oh yeah, I got 100 hookahs in the trunk of this 59 Bel Air. I mean, they went through wood chip at first, but hey, they all fit.
How much did he have to pay to get them to sit there so he can count?
Yeah, that
No,
reminds
they were
me of,
dead.
it reminds me of the most terrible joke that I cannot say.
Oh, that's how this show started. Off air.
Well, I'll end it off.
And blenders.
I got
Horrible.
Get them written down.
Horrible. Horrible.
It's terrible. Terrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They were intact. All right. Tell you what. Anybody have anything to in closing before we get out of here? 'Cause if not, we're gonna call it a night.
Like the closer.
It's a night.
Sarge.
It's a night.
Yeah, it is.
You can skip me. I'm
But
good.
I found something better than the X-Spy Legion.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I
906.
actually got to shoot. I actually got to shoot the X-Spy Legion today. The guy at our shoot had one, and I got to shoot 2 rounds with that. The only problem is my H&K VP9 did a much better job. I was
Judges?
very surprised. But it did.
Whoa. Sound like a special cat. All right. So, with that, Ape, you want to take us out? Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go to bed.
Do we have to go out? Do we have to go out? I mean, come on. I've already got my pajama bottoms on. I don't want to have to go out to eat, but you know,
put some
shameless.
pajamas
You wear your PJs.
No, then I don't want that because I'll have wings and they'll get all full of wing sauce. So shameless,
Crotchless
shitty
pajamas.
shenanigans aside, Moo, you weren't supposed to look in the drawer for the crotchless pajama bottoms. Now you're not going to be surprised come Christmas. I hope you're happy with yourself.
Velcro or zipper?
Neither. They're just
Ladies
open.
and gentlemen.
Ladies, gentlemen, and gents of all ages, thank you for watching Midnight Range TM's The Closer. This concludes our regularly scheduled programming of irregularities, but we'll be back sometime later for more wonderful shenanigans. Keep an ear out for Black Cat. I hear he does, like, things and stuff. Like, he'll drink a beer. He will drink a beer you tell him to drink without even asking for a super chat, like some greedy chat whore.
Honda.
Hey, I didn't ask for that. It just happened.
Look, Honda, nobody asked to be pimped out or to be treated like a whore. It just happens. Just accept it. You got pimped out by Mr. Matt.
I mean,
All
what do
right,
you want me to
so
say? Like, go on.
I am going on. I had to take a drink. Gunchannels.com, Monday Night Program.
Sloppy Joe.
At 5 p.m. Eastern, it's news and commentary with Never Enough Ammo's hasty headlines. Find out how the world is slowly going to shit even more every single day. At 7 p.m. Eastern, it's the Polite Society podcast on Facebook and Travis P11, King Travi himself, head of the Travi Collective, Caliber Corner on YouTube. At 8 p.m. Eastern, it's Clover Tax, MOA Monday on Instagram, sometimes YouTube, and Hawaii Volcano Squad, Locked and Loaded, also on YouTube. At 9 p.m. Eastern, no, wait. Sorry, I can't say that anymore. At 9 p.m. Eastern, it's Never Enough Ammos.
This guy.
Never Enough Ammos, a.k.a. Mr. Matt's Geeks and Podcast, Guns and Geeks Podcast, The Week in Geek, getting knee deep in geek, or balls deep, or eyes deep. You know, just completely submerge yourself in the geek. Just breathe it in, you'll have a lot better time. At 10 p.m. Eastern, whenever they decide to do whatever again, which is probably never, it's intentionally left blank. And every weeknight at midnight Eastern, the main tentpole of the Gun Channel's shows. It's the Daily Gun Show. Check out GunTuber.org as a free and unrestricted Pro2A video platform. If you like what you see, go over to Patreon and, throw them like a penny or two. For less than the cost of a single escort a day, you too can help support a place where videos and free ideas can be free from corporate censorship. Also, for cool and unique 2A swag, like any of these wonderful patches you see here, with the exception of the one that looks like a lightning bolt. That's mine. You can't have that. That's mine. Go over to gearwebsites.com. Once again, if you want yourself an avocado-colored little revolver or a Jello Keltec for whatever reason, go over to gearwebsites.com. And remember, a hot dog is a sandwich, Slim Jim is a candy, and you have to cook your street fudge to an internal temperature of at least 350 degrees before you eat it. I cannot stress this enough, folks. We've had messages from HR and the FDA. You can't just eat that street fudge raw. You have to cook it to an internal temperature of 350 degrees and let it cool. Don't just bite into it fresh out of the oven. Our lawyers say we can't handle any more lawsuits.
You know it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, thanks everybody out there for hanging out. We had a good show. I had a lot of fun tonight. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being part of it. And I'll see you guys throughout the week, I'm sure. But until next time, thanks a lot. And take it easy. Bye.
Please refrain.